Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation. All you need is the will to do right, do right, do right.
And we're live. Welcome to a brand new episode. Jesus Christ, it's a lot to say. Welcome to a brand new episode of Anecdotally Legally. Intruder incident resolved by FBI. No shots fired. Intruder sent to local hospital. Treatment for gunshot wounds. I am your host, Jay Fry. And with me is Sean. How's it going, Sean?
It's Monday. We're here. So good.
And Garrick.
Working.
I heard him. Somebody mute Garrick. We get somebody in the radio room to mute Garrick. Thank you. All right. Jamie, pick that up.
Yeah.
Isn't that Rogan's sidekick, Jamie?
Yeah, young Jamie.
All right. Young Jamie. What a freaking week for the CIA. Apparently, some pansexuals were trying to get into the inclusion seminar, and shots weren't fired. But incoming gunshot wounds still made their mark.
It's just a bad report from Fox is really all it is.
What? Fox not giving a shit anymore? Yeah, that's crazy.
Kind of like, unarmed assailant with a knife.
God, no, that's so much fucking worse. When you can't trust the news, you can't trust the news.
Never could.
Never would.
Yeah. I was probably 8 when I realized how full of shit they were. I was in middle school, or I was in elementary school. Shit, I was probably in like middle of elementary school. Middle of elementary school. Middle. Hello. So I was in 8 years old, 3rd grade ish. And we did a science fair, and like they called up a couple people to hold a freaking tube, and we're trying to balance like a gas inside the tube or some shit, and it was colored. Everyone's names were wrong. Every single person in the article was off by a name. And I know because I was there, and I know who they were talking about. I didn't get the right name. The girls didn't get the right name. The teacher didn't get the right name. And they could not give a fuck less about it.
That's why you always tell the press your name is Hugh.
Mungus.
Exactly.
What was that one? It was this kid was at GameStop or something. No, it was ice cream maybe. He was like, "Wouldn't you like to know?" It was no. We were. I think it was it was nitrogen, and we were freezing mercury into solid, and we're trying to get like a marble or something like that. So it was point is the fucking tube was cold. And we were trying to roll like mercury around the tuber. Fucking, I don't remember. Could have been a fucking puppet show for all I recall. I didn't get any facts from the article. That's for damn sure. And then throughout high school, I was intermittently in different newspapers for sports and things like that. Never got the proper. My favorite from those fucking Simpsons is Amanda Hug and Kiss. It's not particularly hilarious, but it's still my favorite one.
No. Last name Balls, first name Seymour.
Guys, I'm looking to see more balls. See here. But no, I'm looking for Amanda hug and kiss, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty fun. Have you seen my cock? But yeah, they're not your friends. I didn't even like Lois Lane. like she was like a busybody to me, and always got her nose into shit, and was way too happy with it.
She's a plucky young reporter, see? She's on the beat.
No.
Working woman, earning her living, making her way in the world.
The fuck are you quoting there?
That's just how it was treated at the time of her creation. She was an anomaly. An oddity, if you will.
Yeah. But back then, Superman also shot little Superman out of his hands, and he was green.
Hey, the whole screen.
An American way, they did not do it.
I have no idea what Garrick's point is.
I think something about the American way.
Truth, justice, and the American way.
That pissed me off about Superman Returns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he still believe in what he used to? Truth, justice, all that stuff? Like, fuck you. Like, the cartoonist might have had dual citizenship. That doesn't mean you can fucking play that bullshit. Speaking of which, I finished Hawk and the Winter Soldier, and it just upset me on so many levels. Not like in a bad way. Like, there was social justice stuff, but they were the bad guys. But just some of the stuff was stupid. Like, two dudes fighting in the middle of the street. The cops stop them, and they think it's because one of them's black, when they end up arresting the other guy who wasn't black. Like, don't have your argument where you're physically yelling at each other in the middle of a street. Cops wouldn't have stopped if it was on a sidewalk.
I just thought it was interesting how fast the other cop showed up.
Yeah. Well, they probably said, hey, we got a black guy, because there were no black guys in that neighborhood. It was a colored community being protected by white people.
It was literally Detroit. Or no, I'm sorry, it was Baltimore. Even worse.
Yeah.
It was Baltimore.
Baltimore is literally Detroit without cars.
And they're in the middle of the street, and one cop car, presumably he's on patrol, happens to be at the corner, rolls on by the argument, and then decides to, light him up. And then not 15 seconds later, there's 3 more cop cars in Baltimore. I mean, there's only so much suspension of disbelief that you can have.
Look, give me more of the super soldiers. That's more believable, all right? The city streets of Baltimore being patrolled, bullshit. You're not going to convince me that crack house is a crack home? Come on now. Sally Toys is already talking about the assault cigarettes ban and the assault cigars. Yeah, I guess we could talk about that. In an act of brave anti-racism. Good fucking Lord. So the Biden administration, and this isn't the first time, because under the Obama administration, it's the first time they changed since they put the Surgeon General warnings on cigarettes, which I don't mind, really. Either way, like I still smoke, so fuck you. But if you put a fucking cancerous lung on my pack of cigarettes, I'm really gonna start associating with that cancerous lung. I like my cigarettes. But they there's so much racism involved in this. They want to completely ban Newports because blacks smoke them. That's their reason for it, which is insane. But I'd also like to point out, I don't smoke menthols, but I definitely want them out there so that I could see the women who smoke them and stay away from them. Because you smoke a Newport or a menthol, there's a pretty good chance you're smoking coal. So I just need that out of my life with the quickness. But there's got to be more blacks, more white people smoke menthol than blacks, just pure numbers wise. And I know black people who don't smoke menthol, which means there's a pretty good chance menthols are smoked by more white women than blacks, period.
Well, notice that every article about it is only showing boxes of ports and cools. They're not showing the Virginia Slims.
I did see Salem's in one. There was 4 packs. It was Cools were the other pack. But Marlboro has a menthol.
That nobody smokes.
Yeah. They still have one though.
Camel has the Crush ones.
Yeah, the can be menthol. Fuck that noise. You just puncture the vial and you get the fiberglass you crave. That's if the ban doesn't work, they will end up subsidizing Newports. Yeah. Does Newports make a non-menthol? Are there Newport Reds out there?
I do not. I don't know.
I'll have to check the next time. I'm going to a gas station tomorrow to pick up chips and pop. So I'll check. But you know what? Those won't be banned.
No, Newport is a brand that is menthol only.
Oof. Like the Obama administration did that thing where that was all under the Obamas, right? The changing the lights and ultralights to being color coded instead of because they didn't want you to think it was light cancer and ultralight cancer. That's how much faith they have in you, black people.
In December 2016, it was reported that J.R. Reynolds would start selling marijuana cigarettes called Newport Nirvana.
How'd that work out?
However, Newport did not develop marijuana cigarettes, which would be available for purchase in 2017. In November 2016, the site called TMZ World News, like that's an authoritative source, published an article reporting that the cigarette brand Newport planned to introduce marijuana cigarettes dubbed the Newport Nirvana. However, Snopes, good lord, we're just running on empty here, reported that TMZ World News is a fake news website appropriating the combined brandings of popular gossip site TMZ and the national newscast ABC World News Tonight.
I trust the Weekly World News more than I trust either of those sites, and they just put out an article saying there's a city in Trevor Noah's hair. I sent it to you guys, right? Yeah, I do. I see it now.
Oh, no, they do. A pack of Newport non-menthol red king-size box. So they do make reds.
So it is red?
Yes.
Is it like an ugly red? Like a burgundy?
Yes.
Oh, God. Just fucking figured.
They have non-menthol 100s, non-menthol gold, and non-menthol gold 100s. They also have platinum blue and platinum silver. I have no idea what those are. I'm assuming they're menthol of some form or another.
That is so weird.
Non-menthol Newports were full flavor, and lights were sold in the United States during the mid to late 90s, possibly as late as 2002.
Yeah, you can't go past 2009.
They were discontinued until November 2010 when they re-released them in order to keep up with the non-menthol cigarette smokers in America.
Yeah, what ended to happen in 2009, Blabama changed them to golds and silvers because they didn't want to confuse it with light cancer and ultralight cancer. But God, that's just stupid. I heard Adam Kroeger was talking about it. He said people are still wearing their masks after getting the vaccine because they don't want to be confused for Republicans.
Yep.
Like, yeah, fair enough.
They even brought that up on the stream last night.
Man, I must have missed that. Oh, yeah. And the flavored tobaccos that they want to ban encapsulates like all blunt wraps. Like from Black and Milds to Swisher Sweets. Like just, it's like, we're here to help you. You people can't have fun. By the way, outlawing rap because it makes y'all look bad. We just can't give a black man a microphone and allow him to talk. It makes you guys look bad.
Well,
what the fuck, Eric? What are you doing?
Well, the cigarette talk made him bust out the iron lung.
Yeah. Good. There we go. Let's mute you for a little bit. You'll have fun with that, buddy.
It looks like I closed the stream.
Don't do that.
No kidding.
But yeah, that's just it's insane to me. What the?
Oh, there he goes.
You good?
Well, Garrick's gone.
Garrick's back. And
okay, yeah, we're good.
Yeah. That was an random ass thing.
What, buddy? You okay there? Hey.
Yeah, really.
What?
Not getting a word of it.
I wish he was fishing.
No, I think you got it right the first time.
Dude, I made a bunch of barbecue last year, and I ate way too much of it, and I was like, I stuffed myself with BBQ, and I put it in a Facebook post, and then I looked back at it, and it said I stuffed myself with BBC.
Whoops.
And I'm like, let's go ahead and delete that. Like, there's only 11 likes. We might as well delete that before the other people see it. God damn it. Now I can't come out of the closet until all those people are dead, because they'll think I'm interracially gay instead of just regular gay.
Well, I gotta ask, are you in the Turkish military?
No, they won't allow me. I mean, yeah. So the Turkish military, because they're so progressive, they open it up to the gays. Kinda. So you can be a member of the Turkish military if you are a top. However, they are not accepting bottoms at this time. And
so you have to be on the batter, or the pitcher, not the batter.
Catcher.
Pitcher, not catcher. That's...
Why don't you go practice your metaphors in silence? Yeah, it's pitcher and catcher, not the batter. That's some weird spitballing stuff that we're not going to get into on this stream because we're a family stream, you fuck nut.
Yeah, we all know that the batters are switch hitters. Come on.
Switch hitters. I can play for their team. Get the fuck out of here. If anything, my issue is the switch hitters. Like, you're the one spreading AIDS around to everybody. That shit would have been kept in house if it wasn't for you.
Oh no. Then just regulate it for the fags, you know.
Yeah, they only want it for the alphas, which is like the more masculine. And I guess that's like, yeah, all right. There's a superhero book. It's called Corpses by Drew Hayes, and it's about a superhero, and he's the best superhero in the world. They don't have like rankings like that, but he's a really good guy. He's called Titan. He's a giant of a dude, and he's a strong man. He's super strong, but he's like the strongest man. He'd beat up Hulk, in a fight, and if he didn't the first day, he beat him up the second day, because he's not actually a strong man. His gift is adaptation. So, like, if you shoot him, he gets shot. But once he heals from that, he cannot get shot again because he's adapted. So he's the strongest. Anyway, he had kids, and he had this wholesome, like, he was Superman, superhero, wholesome dude, and he ended up realizing a little later in life that while he's still this wholesome, awesome guy, he happens to be gay, and he's got kids and a wife at home, and he gets caught by an intrepid reporter and leaks it to the world that he is a homosexual, and he runs and hides for a decade, and leaves his wife, leaves his kids, leaves everything behind, and fades into obscurity. And the story actually starts after that, when he comes back into being a hero, because his sons had made it into the hero certification program, which is how you become a hero in that world. And it's just the story of him trying to deal with the shame of having been called out and whatnot. And, this is a decade ago, so it being written in whenever the hell it was written, a decade earlier than that, and you're dealing with the gay hate of the 80s or whatever. Back when I used to fight for gay rights. Now it's bake the cake bigot, and you're a bigot if you don't call me by my 16 made up names. But so if you get a chance and you want to read a pretty good superhero book that isn't full of bullshit, it's actually pretty good. Corpses by Drew Hayes.
Okay.
I imagine him as a top, by the way. That's the whole reason I was talking about this. He's like a big dude, and I just can't picture him like squatting over and exposing his pooper. Imagine he's a strong guy, he'd like break your dick off if you clenched. So don't. Hoping he's a top. Maybe a passive top. Boy, Steven's missing out on all the good talk. What the fuck is it?
This is not our normal forte.
What are you talking about? There's a 30% chance anytime I bring up Chuck Tingle.
Fair.
In any given conversation, this is not our normal talk. You're rapping about homosexuals and Vicodin. I would actually like to give a shout out to Eminem realizing his lyrics are not acceptable, so he stopped making music. Good for you, buddy. Now you can maybe go around reminding people who Dr. Dre is, while you wear his $300 headphones that are not worth it.
No, they are not. Take that same money and buy a pair of Sennheisers.
What? Yeah. So we're outlawing both the menthol and the flavor wraps, and just up next, premarital sex for the blacks. It's gonna be all bad for them. Did you see the girl who
uptight and
oh, not uptight, but yeah, uppity anyway.
No, I was going to steer away from that one, but
I know. I mean, for Garrick to bring in with the Alabama wind chimes. Did you see the girl who called Alyssa Milano racist?
Rose McGowan?
The other girl, the black girl?
No, I didn't.
Oh yeah, she had a post out there and like just making just all these factually true statements about the left. The only problem is she kept calling them liberals, and these people aren't liberals. We need liberals. You know, like Sargon, liberal. Tim Pool, liberal. Adam Krigler, former liberal, currently Trump tard.
Well, they can be either pretty or bright. Very rarely is it both.
he's not pretty. But yeah, like the Bernie bros that can then trade between being a Bernie bro and being a Trump tard. Really, I mean, there's no fucking else to think for it. Those are more liberal-leaning people. But Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, those aren't libs. Those are progressives.
I don't know that they're even progressive. I think that they're just power hungry and will go with whatever gets them power.
I buy it if there wasn't so much forward movement in the power grab.
Well, I mean, it gives them power.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This is where their power is rooted, is in appeasing these far left people, and they don't give a shit one way or the other because it doesn't affect them. So they're just going to go with it. Hell, they'll all be dead before any of this, you know, any time the bill comes due.
Fuck you. Newsweek. Trump's failures were the prelude to Biden's. Hold on, I gotta see this. It popped up in my news feed. I gotta see how much of this is bullshit and what's what.
It's in your news feed.
By any measurable standard. Yeah. Trump's failures were prelude to Biden's success. Yeah. Oh, who wrote it? Robert Reich.
That guy has been wrong about everything every time he's opened his fingers, mouth, whatever orifice he spews his bullshit from. He has never been right about anything.
And he proves it. By almost any measure, Joe Biden's first 100 days have been hugely successful. Good fucking night. Trump's plan for the vaccine he brought to market before Biden, when Biden said it could be done, and his layout, Biden did it almost 3 weeks later. Then everything. There's no success here. What did Biden do that was successful? He didn't even give his party what they wanted on the stimulus check. 2/3 of Americans support Biden's 1.9 stimulus plan. Already enacted. No, they don't. 3 of us here. Who appreciates Biden's stimulus plan? No. 10% went to the American people. Garrick, are you 1/3 that approves it? Garrick, are you nodding?
Silence is compliance.
1 out of 3. That goes for us right there. Infrastructure. You know why they're so keen to talk about infrastructure? Because you can't see it. This is nothing but shovel-ready jobs that are bullshit, so they can fund their bullshit further. $6 trillion price tag for all of this would make it the largest expansion of federal government since Lyndon B. Johnson's Great Society. But for most Americans, it doesn't feel radical. Rather than bet it all on a single large-scale program like universal health care, which Clinton's failed to accomplish, and which Obama turned into a target for public and fear-mongering, which is actually fucking accurate, Biden has picked an array of popular initiatives. Popular. What about them is popular? Free preschool, community college, paid family and medical leave. How is that needed? How is any funding needed for that? Paid family and medical leave. Shouldn't that be through your work? Home care and infrastructure repairs are hard to vilify. I'll fucking vilify every goddamn one of them. Because evil people are making explanations for this stuff, which means it's bad. Come on. Just replace Orange Man with Biden. You guys can do it. I know you can. This is all bullshit. Robert Reich is a fucking moron. I don't know how these people.
Dude. I mean, come on. That guy is terrible.
Yeah, he says, besides, it's hard for Republicans to paint Biden as a radical. He doesn't feel scary. He's old and grandfatherly. He speaks haltingly. He's humble. When he talks about the needs of average working people, it's clear he knows that. Yeah, I'm going to close this before something in my head pops.
Yeah, well, dude, just
Good
the byline
fucking
should told
night.
you to disregard.
Robert fucking Wright is an idiot. The only one I like less than him is Rick Wilson. And the only reason I like him less is he mocks the South while being Southern. Like, you literally have a rebel flag on your cooler, just like every other goddamn person in the South, but you're going to act like it's racism. When you know it's not, just to own Trump. Piece of shit. The 1 in 8 dentists who don't want you to brush your teeth. Yeah, it's like 4 out of 5 doctors prefer smoking Camels, or whatever it was.
For your T zones. T for taste, T for throat.
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
I agree with that.
And something's happened in the news because we're back on Cuomo again.
Yeah, he
So,
started
something's happening.
bubbling up.
Yeah, so something's happening that they want to steer away from, and they're sacrificing Mario's favorite son.
Well, I mean, the other one was Fredo, so what's she gonna do? They were talking about him on the radio on the way home tonight, which, and by talking about him, I mean they were talking about how there's a lack of talk about him. And it's because he's a mobster thug and he's threatened to break somebody's thumbs. It made his story go away for a while.
Which you can't do. Because that's the beauty of the internet. All right, so who knows about the media in New York City? Anybody?
Not really. Try to avoid that place like the plague.
All right. So,
For real.
Yeah. So what happens in NYC is you're required to have press credentials. And the press credentials are handed out by the police department. And anytime you're getting too pushy with a cop or a public official, they pull your press credentials. That is so far from the First Amendment, it's not even funny. But of course, we're talking about New York City, which also doesn't stop there. You know, they stopped all parts of the First Amendment. They've nearly completely destroyed the Second Amendment. Stop and frisk was a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Like, someday soon you're gonna wake up with freaking soldiers in your house so they can get the third too. Because they definitely aren't doing speedy trials right now.
Well, I mean, instead of your house, they've put in the commissars into businesses with HR departments and equity teams.
Mm-hmm.
Diversification officers, shit like that. They're just nothing but commissars.
The only thing they haven't violated is the 10th Amendment because they run roughshod over it. Oh, well, we put somebody in your business because 10th Amendment. Yeah. So they control the media with an iron fist. And it's literally, it's unconscionable. But they managed to do it. Hey, Frags, permanently turned.
If something were to happen to it.
Yeah. Are you abandoning Beauty and the Beta YouTube for Tippy?
I haven't. I think Garrick has.
Well, man, it was for Fraggle.
I gave up YouTube when he first introduced Streamlabs, so yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because it only costs. Let's see, if you do $10, it's like 80 cents for processing, and they get the rest. So I mean, yeah, why the fuck would I support YouTube if all they're going to do is eventually kick them off the platform?
The ranch?
Yeah, rep the ranch, bro. Somebody's got to like you.
Well, and it does have an advantage in that Blonde won't read it.
Oh, I could get my rent then. I'm usually insulting Blonde in him anyway.
Did y'all look up the super chat that I sent last night? Or Tippy stream, whatever?
No, I have not ever been to Tippy Stream, nor do I think I ever will. I just hate the name.
Well, no, but I sent him one last night, and I was curious if y'all had looked up what it was.
No, what was it?
So go to Urban Dictionary and look up the Montana musket loader.
I'm good.
Come on.
I'm pretty sure those aren't allowed to Turkish military.
What is it?
Montana musket loader.
Montana.
My brother showed me this one on TikTok. Well, not showed me, but somebody talking about it. I'd be surprised if they allowed that on TikTok. But maybe not.
That is ridiculous.
You want to share class or not really?
Well, okay, I don't recommend doing this. I think you'll get in less trouble for a dirty Sanchez, but the Montana musket loader, when you're making sweet, tender love to a woman and you throw some good old Copenhagen long cut in your lip, then after a minute or two, you take it out, place it on her anus, and stuff it in with your penis.
I like the Jeff Foxworthy accent.
It just really ties it all together. There's also a second one called the Montana miscarriage, but that's a little different. That one will get you into serious trouble.
Gonna pass on all of these. I'm still scarred by a blue waffle once.
Okay. I'm glad that's not a colloquialism. Easy for me to say.
No, it wasn't. What is it?
No.
Ah, good. Safe. Mark safe from bullshit. Thank you. So what else do we have on? We talked about. We didn't talk about CIA. Actually, we just kind of shat on CIA. That's good. So the CIA came out with a new the woke CIA, which is looking for diverse hires. Which, if you want diversity, should probably be in the CIA. I mean, like, put some skin in the game and get first generation immigrants and to the second generation immigrants or kids in the military, so they have some skin in the game. But if ever we had a branch that really could use some vast diversity, yeah, it's the fucking CIA. But they're not going for, you know, a group of Indians to run the Indian branch, or Arabs to run the central branch. No, they're succumb to woke bullshit and gender identity nonsense. And Maja, which is, I'm assuming is her name, is a mother of two, fucking non-patriarchal fucking nonsense. Like, the whole thing's just word salad for the approval of CIA. And it's like, we wouldn't know the CIA was such a joke without the CIA putting out that they were such a joke. Like, under no circumstances should we know that the CIA tried to assassinate Castro with sending him cigars with explosives in the middle of them, or cigar boxes with snakes inside them, or the time they attempted to.
Well, hang on. Let's just go over that brilliant thinking. You're trying to assassinate the communist leader of the country that makes cigars. Why would he smoke anything that's given to him when he can just go take the good shit?
You ever had a Cuban cigar?
Yes.
They're by no means any of the best. Those are mostly Honduran.
Or Nicaraguan.
Nicaraguan makes good cigars too. But the reason Cubans are so sought after is because of the embargo. That's it.
Yeah. They're just highly restricted.
Yeah. But there's actually a joke about that in Punisher. Because the guy's Cuban, and he goes, he's not even Cubans, they're Nicaraguans. I'm like, yeah, because they're quality cigars. Like, it's just like anything that's rare is more pricey because of its rarity. Doesn't mean it's better, just means it's rare.
Well, it's, here in the States, Cuban cigars are prized because you're not supposed to have them.
Yeah, but it's more about power than it is about quality.
I agree.
That's it.
But it's wagging your dick when you say, "Hey, I got this box of Cubans. Want to feel naughty for 15 minutes?"
Yeah. You can, but then you're not going to be allowed in the Turkish military. Um, the other one that my favorite of all these is the attempt to spy on Russian diplomats or actual Russian officers who wait for the bus at a certain location outside of the Kremlin to go to their cars because there's not parking lot at the Kremlin. They trained a cat. They put a microphone, a receiver, and all these different parts. They literally surgically implanted this cat with, at the time, $10 million of equipment, training, technology, whatever you want to call it, for this cat. Healed it up, trained it to hang around there and meow and be all cute for the czars or whatever. And they released it to start codename Ear Kitty or whatever the fuck it's called. And on its way to the bench, it gets hit by a car, dead. Under no circumstances should the American people know of this story, but we do because the CIA likes to tell people how stupid the CIA is.
Is that why we know about it? Because the CIA is actually stupid? Or are we hearing about intentionally stupid shit so that the world thinks the CIA is that fucking retarded?
Exactly. And, Maynard says the same thing. How do we know it isn't PSYOPs? And that's exactly what it is. Because everything we know about how stupid the CIA is comes from the CIA. Like, it'd be different if, like, the Homeland Department was shitting on the CIA for stupid shit. Then it'd be a little different. But everything we know about the CIA's failures, we learned from the CIA. So this is just another step in the look how stupid American CIA is. They're going woke at the same time that China has banned feminism from its military. At the same time, Joe Biden is making stupid threats against both Russia and North Korea. Funny enough, the new strategy that they're going to use on Korea is the same strategy they used under the Obama administration that failed in every front.
Oh, another thing, right along those same thought lines that happened today, there was a bunch of tweets out there and a bunch of articles about how Hillary Clinton is supposedly beside herself with how stupid Joe is for leaving Afghanistan.
We came, we saw, he died. Cackle, cackle, cackle. I almost wish he would have said something because I would have loved to have thrown this in his face. We just had the 1 year or the anniversary of the not the 1 year, but the anniversary of the raid on bin Laden. Joe Biden told Barack Obama not to do it. He was against the raid that killed bin Laden. Google it. Anybody who's interested. It was kind of like how the MSN knew Hillary wasn't sick because the Clinton campaign told them so. Yeah, it's basically the same thing. But, completely different because CIA is kind of stupid. But don't trust them with it. This is...
Yeah. YouTube values free speech because WikiWiki says so. So much so that she gave herself an award for free speech.
Yeah, how about that?
No, once you start seeing that the power players are in it for power and manipulation, it becomes much easier to see through the bullshit, much like the Hillary story about her being pissed off that Joe's getting out of Afghanistan is merely to get the people who hate Hillary to be on board with Joe. She doesn't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
this is going to make the people that are anti-Hillary, i.e. anybody who's got a brain in their head, suddenly, sympathetic with Joe pulling out 5 months later than Trump would have. We'd be out by today. 2 days ago, as a matter of fact, if Trump had won.
Mm-hmm. But instead, we're waiting to the anniversary of 9/11. Every year they pull some shit on 9/11, but okay.
Just takes a wee bit of critical thinking. Unfortunately, most of America is incapable of that.
What the fuck? Somehow New York Post made it into my notifications, and I don't like it. Son creates sexy OnlyFans account for his mom, and he wants a cut. By Asia Grace. More on OnlyFans. Star Playboy model joins OnlyFans after her teen son reportedly creates her an account for her. Plus-size English teacher told to cover up joins OnlyFans, becomes millionaire. Actress whose ex mocked her by suggesting she join OnlyFans becomes a top earner. Formerly homeless teacher who used to steal to buy drugs becomes OnlyFans millionaire. Model on OnlyFans. Well, there's some fucked up headlines. Duarte, a Brazilian Playboy pinup and former Miss Bum Bum world winner with over 934,000 Instagram follower, stands to make a fortune from flaunting her full figure for a paying public, like so many moms have since the onset of the pandemic. Lou Duarte. There's only one Duarte I like, but he also wants you to shoot them in the face. So I don't know if this counts as two different people or not.
Probably.
The Sun is making news because he wants a cut of his mother's OnlyFans.
Dudes are making money on OnlyFans, so...
Atomic Kitten singer turned OnlyFans star Carrie Katona reveals that her 13-year-old daughter Heidi serves as photographer for most of her saucy cyber shares. This shit's disgusting. Jesus.
And they wonder why Rome fell.
Yeah. And, it's like... Jesus. I thought it was creepy when Elizabeth Hurley's son was taking bikini shots of her.
That guy should get paid $1 everybody says every time somebody says to him, "Dude, your mom's hot."
Yeah, like, Mom, this is the third time you've had to do laundry this week because I kept getting cum on my clothes from your fucking filming. I demand... No, it's fucking gross. Now, I think he should get paid if he's actually doing, like, not the web hosting, but he's in charge of her site. Absolutely, he should be making money off that.
Yeah, he's doing the producing.
Yeah,
that's a job.
Just don't make your kids your fucking photographers. That shit's so wrong. Only because the 2016 wasn't fortified. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, just waiting for the hero feminist dad who creates an OnlyFans for his teenage daughter. Like, I knew my daughter couldn't become an OnlyFan at 17, but I built the website so that it could be started on her 18th birthday. Because women's empowerment and shit. Sally Toy says there's already a dad who did that. For fuck's sake. These girls make pretty good money. I know of she's a realtor in my area, and she has $29.99 a month, and she has 30,000 worth of subscribers. She makes $30,000 a month.
That's fucking insane.
Mm-hmm.
Who are these guys paying this money?
I mean, you're doing it not that way, but you know, Disney is $15. Netflix is $15. That's that price right there.
Right, but I'm getting more out of it.
How often do you watch Netflix or Disney?
Well, much like you, I just finished Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Fuck yeah! Have you seen?
Watched that this weekend.
No, I've not seen a single episode.
You're missing out. It's actually good. I mean, to spoil it for you, but it's going to make you want to watch it. The storyline is Captain America, two different versions of him, beat the shit out of Antifa with the shield, with the fucking stars and stripes. Just beat the shit out of Antifa.
Yeah. That's way better than how Tim described it, because he was talking about the Flag Smashers. Which is just a stupid name for him, because they don't fucking smash a single flag.
Plus, Kurt Russell's kid. Come on.
Dude, worst fucking Captain America.
Yes.
God damn. That is just awful looking. And like, I'm like, is that the same? Like how close is that helmet to the other helmet? Because he looks like if the grandpa from Up, who didn't have kids, put on Mr. Magoo Goes to War. Like, it's just a terrible.
Well, and let's face it, all versions of the Captain America outfit suck in comparison to the one that they put on the Captain America in the movies.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and they point out that how much that is, but that's still $15,000 a month. That's $180,000 a year. But these girls do hustle. Like, I know of girls who are on like my Instagram or my Twitter, or I talk to randomly in other circumstances, who do for some of them, like if they charge over $20, all their content is free. And then there's girls who do like $5 a month for you to have access to their content, but they sell all their porn. But some of them will do like boyfriend groupings, where like for like between $50 and $100 for 3 or 6 or 12 or however many months. But in some group of in between, they sell them packages for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever, for unlimited porn. Like, everything they produce that month, they get for included in that $50 or whatever for the boyfriend experience or whatever. Some of them give out their phone numbers. Like, there's a bunch of situations around it.
Do these guys not know that the internet exists and porn is free?
Yeah, but if you have a certain kink and you find a girl you like, Yeah, I mean, it all depends on what you like. Oh yeah, I've seen that on TikTok. That's actually where I came across the girl. Her name's something Smith Fit. She's a local to me. She's a local realtor. $30,000 a month, and she got in a fight in her comment section about matching with other people who were in that price range, because she wanted to hook up with girls who were also selling at around $30, making the same amount of money, give or take, so they could trade and whatnot. I try to know a lot about a lot of subjects. I know way more about roofing than I need to, and I don't roof either. Not that I don't OnlyFans. You guys should subscribe to my channel.
No.
They say for porn, there's a surprising amount of mukbang involved. That's isn't that where you eat food on camera?
I guess. I'm not into that either. The last thing I want to do is watch a fat person eat. Like, I try to avoid that in the wild. Why the fuck would I look that up on the goddamn internet?
Yeah, I don't know if you ever heard of this, but there's this channel I watch called Dancing Bacon. Literally all I do. No, she's a little chubby girl, but like, she's eating the most disgusting shit I've ever seen. It's almost like Fear Factor with a smile on your face. Does Pam Anderson have herpes? I thought she had one of the alphabets. Preparation H. Isn't that what she had? No, hepatitis. Didn't she have hepatitis C? Didn't she get that from Tommy?
Hepatitis Q.
Hepatitis, all of the above. Does Liz Hurley have herpes? Because I know there was like...
I think that if you look hard enough, you'll find that anybody who's famous and is moderately good looking has a venereal disease of some way, shape, or form, simply because they can. Not by choice, mind you.
You're going down, Megan Fox. I no longer like you like I liked you.
Just because they're ridiculously attractive. They have a lot of people vying for their attention, and they have their pick of people who to bang. So, yeah. I mean, Jessica Alba has herpes.
Looking at you, Brad Pitt, with the dirtiest dick in the business.
That was probably Derek Jeter, who undoubtedly has herpes at this point because he was married to Jessica Alba.
If you subscribe to Chief Fry's OnlyFans, you can watch him fight like... Yeah, we can... just two bears going at it in the woods. Yeah, no. Now I want to check and see if my name's available on OnlyFans. Like, if I only have to pay them a cut. I don't have to pay them nothing ever.
I mean, don't get me wrong. When they go public, I'm buying the fucking stock.
Harvey Weinstein, not Henry. Yeah, I would imagine they have so much more opportunity. Because here I am, pure as the driven snow. What do you think? No, I am actually pure as the driven snow. Well, in the off hours, I will tell you a funny story about how I thought I had herpes once. Steven's practicing that wishful thinking again. Yeah, I seem to remember an article about like all these chicks who had diseases. But is there... Maynard, can you confirm Liz Hurley has herpes? Because I don't know if Pamela Anderson has herpes, but it seemed like a joke. Not positive. remember, when you have unprotected sex with somebody, you're having sex with everybody they've had unprotected sex with. So, fuck around enough in Hollywood, you've probably had sex with Batman. My God, yes. You just beat my story. What else do we have? Say is a joke. Caitlyn Jenner's getting shit on her run for Republican California gubernatorial race.
Well, I mean, we knew that was coming. We know they're all a bunch of fucking hypocrites. The one candidate you would think that they couldn't make arguments against, and they all immediately do, because it's wrong politics.
Mm-hmm. Like, at this point, we need The Rock to run, since he's, like, probably the most universally loved person, even though I'm mad at him for pushing Joe Biden. And put a kibosh to all this progressive bullshit. Like, a wave needs to be brought in. Yes, we already talked about the menthol ban. If you would have woken up earlier, you'd have heard about the gay Turkish, too. The other Turkish delight.
Oh. Blow. 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 What makes you think The Rock would actually push anti-woke?
Because he's The Rock. He is now in Hollywood, but Dwayne Johnson fought his way through every step of the WWE to get to the top. He earned his badges through the acolytes and all the other bullshit sidebars and jobbers he had to do until he became the pinnacle of the WWE superstardom. That is literally laying the foundations for a staunchly conservative Republican. Just like the military, when you come in as a grunt and you make your way through it, the majority of military are Republicans. The grunts through to NCOs. But it's the exact opposite when you start at second lieutenant. Because they went to high school, or they had started with a college education, or they came in from ROTC, and they got promoted first off to officer, and only went up from there. They were given a gift, they never made what it was, and they politic their way through bullshit, back crossing, double stabbing, to get where they were. The Rock pulled himself up by his bootstraps like every motherfucker in the special forces ever. They didn't get to be a pilot because their daddy was in the military before them. They learned the values of hard work and effort and became the pinnacles of their professions. Gina Carano would be another one, but yeah, people don't care for her.
I do.
But yeah, I meant the left. Yeah, dude, she's been on my radar for far longer than most people's.
I remember when she was on American Gladiators, and holy shit!
I've got about 6 years before she was on American Gladiators.
I don't typically like thick women, but goddamn.
I do. She's been on my top 5 for like well over a decade. Well, see, the problem now is The Rock is no longer earning that stuff. It's all coming to Hollywood, and he's getting fat fucking paychecks for no reason. But that's about to stop. because Hollywood is a dying industry.
Are they though? I mean,
Yes, they are.
Well, no, the business model for Hollywood, the previous business model is defunct. I'll agree with that. But Hollywood itself is still producing the stuff we still consume. It's just a different pay model.
And that's how it's going. Not the Hollywood itself. The Hollywood elites is what's going. And it started 20 years ago with the Blair Witch Project. A group of unknowns. Okay? And that was...
If you want to get down to it, it started off with Kevin Smith.
No. I only give credit to people I like. Fuck off. Blair Witch. Huge industry for Blair Witch. Cost $10,000. Made millions. Lord of the Rings. Huge movie. Main cast, relatively unknowns. Besides for John Rhys Davies and Gandalf. And
Frodo. Elijah Wood was known.
Yeah, but would you consider Samwise Gamgee to carry a fucking script that wasn't Encino Man?
Okay, you want to talk about somebody who's connected, and I love me some
yeah,
Sean
you
Astin.
fucking... There's too much Sean Astin love for you, personally.
I like the guy. I do.
You do.
I don't like his politics, but I like the stuff that he produces. Sean Bean. He's in it.
The first one?
Yeah, well. He has to die in everything he's in.
No, he doesn't. He fucking made it through that one movie.
Which one?
He's like the only person who survived in Silent Hill. That's also a thing that's been hurting The Rock. Is his films haven't particularly profited. Fuck you. God damn it, Rudy. Yeah, Rudy. Also, my uncle was in Rudy. And so was Al Snow. They played football players. But
I like his dad.
Oh yeah. Love his dad.
Also like his mom. May she rest in peace.
I keep forgetting who his mom is.
Patty Duke.
Yeah, I keep forgetting who his mom is. Yeah, Carl Urban, unknown. Most of the cast, with a few exceptions, of Game of Thrones were unknowns. Not so much unknowns as popular in their own countries, but didn't get a lot of play overseas. And that has been a reoccurring thing in a lot of these places. And there's no better place than if you guys have seen Cursed with Christina Ricci and other people. They spent all this time making a big deal out of a small deal, and like the character who was known was supposed to be the werewolf, and it wasn't, and that played really well for that particular movie because fucking Smallville's Lex Luthor was supposed to be the bad guy, and yeah. Yeah, so Carl Urban's now popular, but and it's been happening for a while. Twilight was another blockbuster series. I don't care what you say about the actual books. Mockingjay, those are some huge fucking numbers they put up, and none of them had the stars that are normally in big budget Hollywood movies.
Do you think that's a case of big stars not wanting to sign to unknown properties, and that we are, as a general public, consuming public, wanting to consume unknown properties? We want new. We don't want...
We do want new, and we want the underdog. There is going to be a bust coming real soon with the Avengers. Lex Luthor would have been better than Lex Luthor. Yeah, it would have been. But I like him. He usually plays the Flash in voice work. Michael Rathenhall or whatever, Rathenberger Hall, something, Michael, something. Steven, the fuck's Lex Luthor's name from Smallville? I know you know. Don't pretend you're not gay.
Black magic cops to being a rabid Twilight fan.
Dude, Twilight pissed me off so bad I had to read the books. They're not any better.
Gee. Written by a suppressed Mormon woman. Who would have figured they wouldn't be good?
Rosenbaum. Damn it, I knew it was something close. Yeah, well, for me, it was like, there's no way this fucking group of vampires owns a property that touches the goddamn Indian tribes, protected lands, the only tribe that can kill them. That's so stupid. Read the book? Yeah, fucking exactly. It's even worse. And, it's less for TV, but relatively unknowns for Smallville, even though they brought in, like, the entire cast of every Superman they could fucking find. But yeah, they have been going, and all right. So a good example is Species. They had a great Species for the movie that it was. Great ensemble cast. Ben Kingsley, Michael Madsen, Forrest Whitaker, and Forrest Whitaker's eye.
You gotta pay extra for the eye.
You gotta pay extra for the eye. You don't know this, but it's in the writer. Check it out in Black Panther. Actually, I like that movie. I like that movie because it's everything white supremacists want. And it's like, yeah, how about that? If you don't allow invaders in, you get utopia. You fucking idiots. Like, you do that every time. Like, you try to shit on the white supremacists, but you show black supremacy with their walls and they're not allowing people in. Yeah, you fucking idiots. The Wife read both series. What, bro? Both series? I read The Hunger Games. I liked The Hunger Games. I thought it had ties to, like, a little too many ties to Rome. Like, oh, modern day Romans. Yeah, I'm totally getting it. Oh, yeah, this is like a Colosseum? Yeah. Okay. Species made Natasha Henstridge big. And they weren't willing to the funny thing is, there's a behind the scenes called Exploring Species, and it's by Good Bad Flicks, and he talks about how Natasha Henstridge was nervous in the role of Syl. Is that her name, right? Yeah. So they did all her nude stuff first, the stuff she was comfortable with. Because she was a model, so she's a 19-year-old model. She's totally comfortable with the nudity. Her nervousness came from the acting. So, she palled it around with the actors, and they kind of. Oh, Alfred Molina was also Alfred Molina and Marge Helgenberger. Helgen? Yeah, whatever. Rounded out the cast. Great cast. So to get her more comfortable, they did all the nudity first that she was completely okay with because it didn't involve acting. And then the actual acting. And she's good. I like her. There is something about Natasha Henstridge I thoroughly enjoy. And it's probably not her boobs. Probably. But no, Natasha Henstridge and Angela Everhart. I thoroughly enjoy those gorgeous women. And I like their acting. T'Challa was an ethno-nationalist. Killmonger was an ethno-globalist. True, yeah. And the ethno-globalists tried to come in and fuck up what the nationalists had. That's not true. I fully appreciate the boobies. It just wasn't just the boobies. It was the boobies. And the acting. I felt her tits were on point. That's what I'm talking about. So in this period of time, we're seeing that you don't need to spend $25 million to get actually, sadly, because I love him to death, Brandon Fraser. We just talked about Encino Man. I love Brandon Fraser, and he makes, like, Mummy is one of my favorite. I wouldn't even consider it a horror movie because I enjoyed it so thoroughly. But the first two Mummy movies are up there in my favorites. Third one, not so much. But he also
George of the Jungle as well.
And actually, that was one of his highest earners.
Because they made it for nothing. That's why.
No, it was like $60 million for George of the Jungle. No. Yeah. I keep thinking that Christy Swanson was Jane, but Christy Swanson was in The Phantom with Billy Zane, and I don't know why I keep thinking her thing. Either way, I also love The Phantom. Billy Zane is also one of those beautiful people that I like, and he doesn't have boobs, so I got you there, checkmate. But George of the Jungle did incredibly well. Then Dudley Do-Right flopped.
Hard
flop. And it was like $35 billion for him to be in that role. And Brendan Fraser's not a money hog. Like, that's what they offered him to do it. You know, he doesn't go around like demanding high prices like Angelina Jolie or what's Brad Pitt's other ex? Jennifer Aniston. Like, he'll do like Blast from the Past. I love Blast from the Past. But Reese Witherspoon made more than him. Or School Ties is another one. He will do artsy projects at minimal money because, you know, he likes to act. Unlike like Lance Hendrickson. Lance Hendrickson says if you aren't acting, you are not an actor. So Lance Hendrickson will be pretty much in anything for scale. But he's a great bad guy and sometimes a surprising good guy. So yeah, Hollywood's elites, the DiCaprios, this one's for you, Sean. The Marky Marks. You know, they're not
the Italian Job, but Marky Mark still owes me $750 for The Big Hit.
Hey, say what you want. That dude made some pretty.
I actually, that hurts me because I fucking love The Big Hit. In the cheesiest way possible, I love The Big Hit. And it doesn't show Jews in a favorable light. Or the Asians. I've never seen Bedazzled.
Bedazzled's good. Have you not seen that? That's got both Elizabeth Hurley and Brandon Fraser.
I do love me some Brandon Fraser. If he ever gets popular again, I've got 2 cameras to sell him. Thank you, Steven. Steven's on my side. Go fuck yourself, Sean. That was such a stupid fucking movie. But I like Lou Diamond Phillips' character just cracked me up. He was such a piece of shit. And I like what's Antonio Sabato Jr. Was that the guy? He was another kind of, he was more like a loving piece of shit as opposed to whatever the fuck the black guy's name was, who was a straightforward piece of shit, but like had his back while not having his back. I thought that was kind of funny. Oh. Dudley Moore remakes never work. That's. I'm worried that they're gonna start remaking Leslie Nielsen movies, and I don't want to see that happen.
There's not a good enough troupe of comedic actors out there to do it.
Well, I wouldn't call Leslie Nielsen a comedic actor.
He absolutely was.
I would say he was the opposite of that.
He just played a straight man, but don't make any mistake, that's still comedy.
Oh yeah, timing, excellent timing. Thanks for running it for me, Steven. I'm going to go ahead and pay you that $7.50. Steven did not have my back in the way I wanted Steven to have my back.
Oh, Steven's got your back.
And I could not join the Turkish military now. Thanks, Steven. Have you seen Thursday? Anybody seen Thursday?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think I've even seen Another Friday.
No, it's a different movie. And actually, I think Thursday came out after Friday, which is funny for a couple of reasons. But we can all agree, before Friday, there was Manic Monday. So...
Next Friday. Wait, did I see next Friday? I definitely saw it. Wait, which one where Terry Crews had his balls in a vice?
What?
Steven?
Yeah, I'm going to go with... I'm a Terry Crews fan, and I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm not even going to Google that.
Maybe it's just a big guy that learned to Terry Crews?
Are you
Still
thinking
no.
The guy who died recently? Well, not recently. He died a while ago. The guy who played the foil in the first Friday movie. I can't think of his name.
Tiny Lister died?
Didn't he?
God damn it, did he?
Pretty sure he's dead.
That'll be another blow to my my celebrities this week.
Yeah, he died December 10th, 2020.
Yeah, he did. Hey, your shaved head is not symmetrical at all.
It was Friday after next. I don't know if I saw next Friday. Yeah,
Well, now that I know
Friday
he
after next
died,
was
I'm not going to
Christmas.
fucking Google if his testicles were in a vice.
Yeah, that's going to bring up some pics you don't want to see.
Yeah. He was the second worst character in Dracula 3000. First worst character? Fucking Coolio.
Yeah. So
Fucking
it was Cat Williams was playing so let me explain the scene. Cat Williams was playing a pimp, and Terry Crews played a gay guy who was after Cat. And so to make him stop being chased, he put his balls in a vice.
Okay.
You gotta watch it. It's funny as fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass. I've seen Django and Wild West. I don't need to see any more black men's balls. By the way, that's a weird start to a movie. It was Will Smith's testicles from the back. Gonna go ahead and pass on that in all future iterations. So anyway, back to my fucking point. Hollywood elite is crashing, and they're gonna try to prop themselves up for as long as possible, but with the onslaught of these
By the elite, do you mean the stars? Or do you mean like the producers and the production houses?
the production houses die off every other day and get rebought. New Line Cinema died in like 2014 and it has been brought back. Lionsgate's dead and been brought back. The Hollywood elites are the actors who demand absorbent salaries.
I would think it would have been the producers.
The producers come and go like crazy.
Right, but they all have the same mindset, and they're the ones who get shit made, no matter what it is.
They're the ones who hold up good shit.
True.
And crap out this crap. And they're losing out in huge numbers. Like, I'm so glad Harvey Weinstein's gone. He probably ruined 10 of my favorite movies.
Cut 20 minutes out of it.
Yeah. Reindeer Games could have been so much better than it was. He held up. If anybody hasn't seen All the Boys Love Mandy Lane, decent horror movie for what it was. And it was pretty good, starring Amber Heard and a bunch of fucking nobodies. Recent Craig's sister, yeah. And you know, it's just he fucked Hollywood over so abruptly. Like I can't think of anybody who's done more damage to Hollywood than Harvey Weinstein.
You don't think Miramax put out anything worth watching?
Oh no, they did, but I guarantee you it's not as good as it could have been. And actually, I like Miramax. For a while, I was an Asylum fan because I liked what they were doing. But I don't even care for Kill Bill, but they did the Kill Bills. Or not Kill. No, they did Kill Bills. They did all of Quentin Tarantino stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't care for Tarantino. But they did like arguably Good Will Hunting was great. Did they do Dusk Till Dawn? From Dusk Till Dawn?
They must have.
Yeah. They did a lot of the Jay and Silent Bob stuff.
They had to do all of Kevin Smith's stuff.
They do?
I think so.
That gives me a reason to dislike them. I think they did Mimic. Because Mimic could have done with another 20 extra minutes. I'm just trying to think of movies that I thought were a little abrupt.
Yeah.
Like that were a little abrupt. Like it just it's like who does hold on. Okay, the Halloweens are Miramax. She's all that, yeah. Clerks, no Dusk Till Dawn, No Country for Old Men, The Gentleman, Good Will Hunting. So they've got some awards under their belt. Gangs of New York could have done with 20 less minutes.
Well, Miramax is an interesting case because, yeah, it was led by a shit dick, but they took a chance in Hollywood when Hollywood was starting into the remakes and rehash and, you know, solid from their point of view, solid bets for making money. They took a risk with the unknown properties and some of the art house stuff that has no reason to have been popular or big necessarily. Like the money, the math doesn't work out on them being successful, but they were.
Chevy Chase is overrated.
Holy shit.
You are slightly late, sir.
Just slightly.
Mm-hmm. I hate Platinum
Oh, wow, shit.
Dunes. Platinum Dunes is like what you just described with Miramax, but with Michael Bay. And they've got the Jason remake, the Freddy remake, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, all under Platinum Dunes. And I hate it.
Do you think Marvel Phase 4 is going to be any good?
I don't like Thor. I mean, I like Thor. I just don't like Thor in his movies. Arguably, the second Thor movie, the worst in the franchise.
Oh, by far.
Dark World.
I mean, that or Iron Man 3.
Yeah, Iron Man 3 is pretty bad too. Yeah, but so they're teaming up Thor with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm still interested in Ant-Man.
Makes sense because of the direction that they took it in the last one.
Yeah.
The third Thor.
Yeah. Apparently, Blacked in America and the Winter Soldier are going to be pairing up, even though I can't stand Chris Evans. Great Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I disagree with him on a personal level and thought he was shit in the Fantastic Four, but that just might be the fact that all Fantastic Four movies are doomed for failure anyway.
I fucking love Michael Chiklis.
Yeah.
I liked him in The Commish. I liked him in The Shield, even though he was a shitbag in The Shield. He still had like a quality to him that Vic I could get behind. Did not care for him in either of the Fantastic Fours.
Because
Jessica Alba, don't know what race she is, but I love her.
The reason that the Fantastic Four movies suck is because it's a bad property to try to make movies out of. It has always been that. Stan Lee loved the shit out of the Fantastic Four and built Marvel around it, but none of those stories are ever any good.
Mm. Plus, it's so fucking cringy to be like, all right, so you get struck with vampirism, but you're a Hollywood vampire. It is so cringy to be gifted with superpowers of immortality and all the strength, the speed, the predatory, even being better looking, and to be mopey because you can't go out in the sunlight. Like, oh no, you got a self-imposed liquid diet. Fuck over yourself. Like, there's a 10-year period in your life from 3 to 13 you wanted to be a superhero. You are now a superhero. Figure out a way to live with blood drinking.
Yeah.
Forever, because you're now immortal. Now, it could be a little bit more of an issue if you're a werewolf. Enjoy your cabin in the woods for at least half a week. I suggest you get a GPS on your dog collar so that you can find your way back to your cabin so you can put clothes on and go back to your life. But even then, you have so many amazing benefits that it's worth it. Carrick, is that you?
What?
Yes.
Yeah, that's you.
Doing what?
I don't know. Take your microphone back out of your pocket, apparently. But yeah, I actually I've had this argument repeatedly, but I'll say it again. Mike Myers would get his ass kicked by Jason.
Every time you say that, I picture fucking gold. Austin Powers.
Yeah. He will fuck that comedian up so hard. But if you are young enough and aren't exposed to horror fucking classics because we're that age, you have only got one Jason movie in the past decade, and 2 Mike Myers movies in the past. Well, now 3.
Well, maybe it's time for some different sort of horror movies. I mean, the horror movies were big in the late 70s and through the 80s, kind of in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
We're 20 plus years past that.
Like I said, they're classics now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's
Every
time
fucking
So
one of
were
them.
the Monster Universal pieces back in the 80s. Like
Yeah,
Frankenstein.
It didn't do well. Even
talking about?
I Frankenstein didn't do well. And
I'm
the
not
new
talking
Mummy,
about
they tried to start the Dark Universe with
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
that. Mm-hmm.
That failed awful.
Well, I think what Sean is saying is they need to create new characters
Right.
instead
Sure.
of relying on old ones.
Well, and that brings me back to Marvel Phase 4. I think they're not gonna know how to handle the diminishing crowds and returns.
We want underdogs, and we're not getting them.
No.
Rudy was Rudy for a reason. He was Rudy. No one's cheering for Tom Brady. Well, for MAGA reasons, but still, no one's cheering. No one who's new to the game when Tom Brady is in a playoff is rooting for Tom Brady. Yeah. Sally Toys is admitting to having seen The Vow. Sparkly Vampires, Eurovision, Evil Dead movies are great. Yeah, Evil Dead's great.
Well, Bruce Campbell is great.
Yeah, I didn't care for the TV show, and I watched all of it.
Oh, I thought the TV show was good.
He was too much of a douchebag loser, like exposed like that large of an amount. Like, oh, you use the Necronomicon as papers to bang trailer trash. Good on you, Ash.
Well, that's kind of the point. Ash is a loser.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. No one is supporting him because of that. He is the best, and we want to see the best taken out.
Well, we want to see what's next because everybody loves a winner in the same form. They just want to see them overcome odds and beat the best and be the next best. At which point we just shift focus again and rinse repeat.
Yeah, like what was that? What was that movie with all that '80s nostalgia? And it was
Ready Player One.
Jinx, motherfuckers. Yeah, that was good.
Well, it's the same
that's
reason Stranger Things is good.
Yeah, but
Well, here's the question:
Mortal Kombat.
Is it
It needs more than nostalgia. Go ahead.
is it the question of that we're craving nostalgia because we think it's of a better time? It's a better time period, all that sort of stuff, and we're reflecting that it's the good old days. Is that why we're craving the nostalgia and everything?
Well, is that why Grease was popular in the 70s?
Yes.
Speaking of, there's a new West Side Story coming out next year
Think about it.
or this year.
You had a lot of the older what was popular in the 60s and 70s, 50s. What was popular in the 70s and 80s, the 60s. I mean, you're going to see a trend next of people clamoring for 90s nostalgia.
We already are.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Goldbergs was like proof of that.
Well, the Goldbergs is 80s.
Well, yeah, I'm saying, but the Goldbergs proof. That 70s show again.
Yeah, that 70s show
Yeah, but they
was
already
something.
tried that. They already tried that gamut, and it was too early. They tried that '80s show. It wasn't as good. They tried that '90s show, which was terrible, and then they tried that 2000 show or that 00.
Well, yeah.
Well,
You gotta wait
they're
for the
back to
generation to get
Fuller
old.
House, Girl Meets World. Coming to America.
2?
No, it's Coming to America. Which it should be Coming to America 2.
Shouldn't it technically be Coming Back to America?
Yeah. Back again to America. America 2, The Dark Continent. Yeah, something like that.
America
Electric Boogaloo. But yeah, like everybody loved the intro to like one of the most popular selling soundtracks is the soundtrack to Kong Skull Island and Guardians of the Galaxy. And actually, Guardians of the Galaxy is a great soundtrack.
It is.
So yeah, there is nostalgia that you can have, and there is things that can be done. Stop making remakes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the remakes can be argued that they're trying to capitalize on the same nostalgia.
I didn't need a second It movie. Oh, I mean, it was a miniseries, but I didn't need a second one.
Well, the first one wasn't exactly good.
I preferred the cast of the first one.
I agree.
I love me John Ritter.
I like Tim Curry.
Did you see the two-parter Tim Curry in Criminal Minds?
Probably.
Oh,
I
he's
think
such a shitbag.
I think the wife was watching it, and I caught most of both of them. I think.
He is such a shitbag.
Um,
Love me some Tim Curry. The Shadow. Tim Curry was in The Shadow. So was Gandalf. I can't think of his name.
Ian McKellen.
Yeah. I like all the Ians. Ian McShane. He's another good one. Ready Player One has an older soundtrack. Yeah. It's quality. It's good.
So then why did stuff like the remake of RoboCop fail so bad?
Because we don't want remakes. And it was modern day.
I don't know about that. The Star Trek franchise did okay.
That hurts me that Anton Yelchin died.
It hurts me that Chris Pine is Captain fucking Kirk.
He's not your Captain Kirk, though.
He's not a captain at all.
He is.
This guy
James
is
Kirk,
fucked
though.
up so bad. Let's make him captain.
Why not? They managed to make Pine and Admiral, or Pine and Admiral. Pike. Thank you. I knew I was close. Yeah. I love zombie books. I read zombie books. I'm completely played out a zombie, but Train to Busan was excellent. And if you know anything about Korean culture, their zombies are not American zombies. So that was a Korean homage to American zombies. Zombies in Korea are ghosts, and they suck the life out of babies. Matt is a RoboCop fan, and he hated the remake. Okay, yeah, see. I didn't care for. I don't like War Shock because of like I liked him as War Shock, but Terrible Freddy, and he actually auditioned for the original Nightmare on Elm Street with Johnny Depp. They both went to the audition.
Well, Johnny Depp only went because he drug him along.
Yeah, he was drug along by can't think of his name at the top of my head, but Haley something Haley, Nikki no, Jackie Earl Haley I think is his name. But yeah, they made Freddy a pedophile, so no, not a fan of that. Jason remakes were nothing special. The Halloweens, like yay Rob Zombie, but what the fuck's with that white horse, bro? Why couldn't Miramax step in and make that thing 20 minutes shorter? The one time, Harvey.
I don't know. I think we're gonna have to get off of this superhero bent.
Yeah, but then again, like in like the 2000s, we had that stolen Japanese horror bend. Like they're not even as good as the Japanese horrors they stole from. And one of them was like straight out ripoff. Like it was literally American redoing it, and that probably stems from the Power Rangers. You just put in white people when they're not in costume. The Kingdom is Korean, I think. Koreans have good zombie movies. I try to find a way to politely tell Belinda Clark that LaFemme Nikita is better than the Nikita she was in. Stop trying to tell her that, Steven. No one likes to hear that. Ready Player One has an older soundtrack. Did you see the South Park where Cartman was teaching inner city kids how to win by cheating?
How do I teach these kids? Yep, love that episode.
No, that was like Bill Belichick, not that was Edward James Olmos. How do I teach these kids? Yeah, I mean it's not like you've got like there is very little difference between Jason, Mike Myers, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like butcher knife, machete, chainsaw, and that's it. Like all of them are ambush predators. I don't know how you ambush somebody with a fucking chainsaw running, but they're all ambush predators. They've all got their issues. They're the same thing. The only one that's different is Hellraiser, which is much less popular, even though there's still like 11 of them. And Freddy, which
you're leaving out Phantasm.
There's 3. That's different, and that's more the Jesus Christ, Garrick.
Sorry.
Yeah, Phantasm's good, but you know they're the same character, just do something different. Anything.
Yeah, I mean the what's the best way to put that? It's not really hack and slash because that's a different genre.
They're slashers.
They're slasher flicks. Yeah, they're gory, they're bloody. I still prefer a good psychological thriller. Like I liked 13 Ghosts, both of them.
You like the first one?
Yeah.
I mean,
Shutter Island
was good.
Yeah, Shutter Island was good.
I didn't particularly care for Wicker Man. I liked Silent Hill.
You just didn't like Nicolas Cage screaming bees, didn't you?
Well, that was my favorite part. The rest of it I didn't like. I'm like, you know what? He needs bees right now. And like, I'm an hour in, still no bees, and it could have used some bees. And then boom, there were bees.
Best Nick Cage movie?
I have a thing for Face Off. I can't even it's Face Off.
I kind of have a thing for Gone in 60 Seconds, even though it was, a ripoff of a recent, 70s terrible Jason Paladaki film of the same name.
That's because you're a car guy, though, so that's understandable.
But Garrick, what's your vote?
Probably. What's the one where he's on Alcatraz with Sean Connery?
The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my pick.
You're all right.
Is it Raising Arizona?
It's Raising Arizona.
Yeah.
How did we fucking guess?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I'm a
well.
Nick Cage fan, so like you guys all named good ones. Also, next, I'm a big fan of The Rock. Raising
What
Arizona.
about Willy's Wonderland, the new one that's released, where he doesn't
Haven't seen
say a single freaking word throughout the entire thing?
No, I haven't seen that one yet. But I liked him in Drive Angry. To me, it was I enjoyed the hell out of that movie. I wasn't like a big fan of Kick-Ass.
What was it? Leaving Las Vegas?
Yeah.
And these are my guilty pleasures. I like the National Treasure movies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do.
I do too.
Y'all say 13 Ghosts, and all I can say is I touched Anna Elizabeth, and Jay Fry asked if I touched her boobs. I always ask that. It's not the same, but I would have touched her boobs. The one with Rebecca Romaine had a weird ending. Rebecca Romaine and which one is that? Nicolas Cage movie with Rebecca Romaine?
I think they're probably thinking of Leaving Las Vegas, and that was Elizabeth Shue.
I do love me some Elizabeth Shue. Nick Cage was actually a producer on the Harry Dresden TV show.
Was he?
Mm-hmm. He was an EP, which is where I like it, but I did not like Seth Rogen as a EP on The Boys, and I did not care for him.
I liked Zach and Mary Make a Porno because it's ridiculous. And wait a minute, which Seth did you say?
Seth Rogen. Yeah,
Seth Rogen. I like Seth Rogen occasionally, but yeah, the guy's an idiot.
He's the same character in every single shot.
Yeah, he's Seth Rogen.
Yeah, he's shit. Yeah.
Even the Green Hornet, which was interesting.
He was Seth Rogen in what's the one where they all played themselves? He was still Seth Rogen.
Was that The End?
Yeah, something like that. Oh, Michael Cera grabs butts, got punched by Rihanna. That's hilarious.
Weed. Weed. That's pretty much him in a nutshell.
And then Danny McBride was a fucking utter piece of shit.
I do not like Danny McBride, except for
Tropic Thunder? Yeah.
Yes. Tropic Thunder was like, it had everybody in it I hate, but they all played awesome roles and made it a wonderful movie.
yeah. You don't like Matthew McConaughey?
Nope.
Huh? You don't like well, I mean, I could forgive you for not liking Nick Nolte. Tom Cruise, yeah, you don't like Tom Cruise. You don't like Robert Downey Jr.?
I do like Robert Downey Jr., and that was actually, I didn't like Robert Downey Jr. until I saw Tropic Thunder, and then that was kind of like one of the first ones he came back to rehash his career after being, doped out, coked out, pretty boy, party boy in Hollywood. Like, I absolutely hated Robert Downey Jr. in Weird Science? Yeah, Weird Science.
Yeah, Weird Science, yeah.
And anything around that era, I hated Robert Downey Jr. Like, despised him.
I don't remember Robert Downey Jr.
Well, to be fair, he played a despisable character.
True, but that's how he was cast in just about everything.
Mm-hmm.
No, he was lovable in Back to School. I don't remember him in Weird Science.
Yeah, he played one of the guys that was a bully. He played one of the bullies.
Well, it was easy to bully Anthony Michael Hall in 1985. Or what's his nuts?
Wyatt.
Ian Mitchell Smith. Oh, he played Ian. Along with nobody else I know.
But yeah, I mean, I liked Robert Downey Jr. He's the only actor in that movie that I kind of like, except for the Canadian kid whose name I can never fucking remember. Can't think of that actor's name at all. He just played the young kid that was on tour with him.
In what movie?
Tropic Thunder.
The young kid that was on tour with him? Mos Def?
No.
The black kid?
No.
What do you mean, you people?
The white guy with the glasses. The nerdy kid. I can't think of the actor's name. Otherwise, I'd tell you. But
I don't know who you're talking about, but I'm going to say Jay Bushall. Because he fits that.
Now you're going to have to make me look it up. All right.
Because he plays Canadian in everything because he's Canadian.
Because he's Canadian.
Yeah, Jay Baruchel. Barchell. Jay Barchell. Kevin Sandusky.
Yeah, I like literally.
Oh, that was Brandon T. Jackson. I thought that was Mos Def. That's hilarious.
Yeah, Jay Baruchel. Baruchel or whatever.
Yeah.
I like him. But yeah, I don't like anybody else that was pretty much in the movie. I don't like Jack Black. I hate Ben Stiller. Yeah. Although that is probably his best movie, is Tropic Thunder. I hated the guy who played the original director. That
Steve Coogan?
Yeah, don't like him. Just don't like Danny McBride. Don't like anybody. I don't like anybody that was in that movie, but that movie worked. It was awesome.
Christine Taylor was in it, and she was in it with the part where he played the retard. I can't think of his name. Simple Jack, Dumb Jack, Simple Jack. She was the other actress. She's just a cute blonde. Jason Bateman was in it as Jason Bateman. Jennifer Love Hewitt was in it as Jennifer Love Hewitt. Lance Bass. Apparently, there was an award ceremony. Lance Bass, Alicia Silverstone.
Jason Bateman's an interesting one for me. I can't say that I like him, but there are things that he's in that I like the character he's playing.
Oh yeah, like, Jason Bateman and Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf 2.
Teen Wolf 2, sorry. Yeah. No, Styles. He played Styles in Teen Wolf.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Then I didn't see him for like 20 years, and I still liked him. And then he was in what's that one with all the killers in it? Smoking Aces. And he played a shitbag lawyer that was on like a coke binge. I never seen Arrested Development, so I didn't know he was like still actively acting. I thought it was like a comeback for him. And he's got like herpes on his face. Was he in the original Teen Wolf? Now I gotta think of it. Did I lose you guys?
No, we're here.
Oh, okay.
But at least, like, I don't know. There doesn't seem to be a good brand of comedy to make comedy movies out of anymore.
Well, yeah, especially if you have to have everybody be the thing that they're pretending to be. It's not like they're actors or anything.
Like, what movies are coming out that you guys are looking forward to actually seeing?
I don't know any movies that are coming out besides for West Side Story.
I'm still waiting on the
Um,
new Ghostbusters. I'm going to give that one a go.
yeah, that's true. I'm looking forward to The Courier with Benedict Cumberbatch. It looks pretty good. I watched the new Mortal Kombat and Kong versus Godzilla. It was, yeah, typical.
Have you seen
action
Kong versus
movie
Godzilla?
stuff. Yeah,
No, I was asking Sean.
yeah, it's out on
No, I have not
HBO.
yet.
Oh, you know who else was in Teen Wolf 2? John Astin.
Yeah, he was. Now that you mention it.
Mark Holton played Chubby. Yeah, I don't know so much as apparently he wasn't Styles in Teen Wolf. So who the fuck was Styles in Teen Wolf? Jerry Levin played Styles? Good lord. All right, enough of that. Yeah, I don't know. I've never found Jack Black funny, but I don't find most of Will Ferrell funny. So they're not for me.
Yeah, I don't like Will Ferrell's brand of comedy.
It's not. I was
like,
just about to say that. I'm not a fan of him.
I don't
at
like
all.
John C. Reilly at all either.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy was fine.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
I think
his
it really
production. He didn't have
Yeah,
much
exactly.
You know what? I'm going to add a caveat to it. Will Ferrell is tolerable when he can bounce it off somebody else. Like the movie he did with Marky Mark was half
other
decent.
guys.
The movie he did with Kevin Hart was really good. Yeah.
The only thing I really liked Jack Black in was
Naturally.
Brutal Legend, which was a video game. That was it.
He wasn't bad. It wasn't a good movie, but he wasn't bad in King Kong.
Yeah.
He was a shitty character, but there was so much going on in that movie. Like, he had to be responsible for himself, and there was no riffing. So, kudos. Unlike School of Rock. It's like, all right, we got 3 pages of Jack Black does his thing. Go. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I don't want 2 pages of Will Ferrell being funny is what was written into the script. And that's what ended up happening to a lot of Jim Carrey. You know?
Well, Jim Carrey only had so much A-list material, and he had a lot of it for a guy, he did. Back in the day, Jim Carrey was the funniest man on the planet. No argument from pretty much anybody.
Now he's just crazy Aunt Susan.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey guys, I do have a storm going on, and my lights have flickered a few times. So, yeah, funzos.
All right, brother.
Did you have anything deep and meaningful you wanted to lay on us tonight?
No, nothing.
No take on the CIA being, well...
The CIA?
Yeah, pretty much nefarious, funky bullshit.
I mean, no comment. I don't want to disappear, so...
That's bullshit, because they're not supposed to operate on U.S. soil.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they haven't been for the last 40 fucking years.
Yeah. In CNN newsrooms, looking at you,
Clippy.
Anderson Cooper.
Operation Paperclip.
I want to like.
I Oh, wait a minute. That's when we got the Nazis. What am I thinking of? Mockingbird.
Mockingbird, yeah. Paperclip is for the missiles. Northwood was a bunch of Cubans.
Yeah, my dad played.
John Cusack. I want to like John Cusack. I was able to like him in certain things, but overall, I did not like John Cusack. He
Yeah,
wasn't
guys, I'm gonna
bad.
head out too. I gotta be.
All right.
Fine.
Y'all take it easy.
Both of you bitches. Get out of here.
Fine.
You.
Go. See if we
Love
care.
You. Oh, get the fuck out.
Didn't liked him in the Con Air. That was another Nicolas Cage movie.
I still enjoy the shit out of Better Off Dead.
Yeah, Say Anything. You know, like his early stuff was great. Gross Point Blank, what starring him was decent.
One Crazy Summer.
I even liked Identity, and it was more of an ensemble cast instead of him. But yeah, my wife likes High Fidelity. That's John Cusack, right?
Yeah. He makes good movies. He's just not the best in the world. Kind of typecast of playing a foil who get just the world beats up, or always. I don't know, man. There needs to be a change in our entertainment, and I don't want it to be.
Make entertainment entertaining again.
Yeah, well, the problem is that why can't I think of this actor's name? Your man crush.
Dean Cain?
Dean Cain. I don't want it to be Dean Cain, Kevin Sorbo, and Lucy Lawless. B-grade bullshit.
First off, fuck you. Second, yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I like all of those people individually. Like, I would like to see them do better, but they don't have the chops.
What are you talking about? Lucy Lawless is just did Spartacus or something, Spartanus or some shit. Some Game of Thrones-esque nonsense.
It's always some sort of character drama, sort of period piece where she plays a kick-ass. I mean, Gina Carano's in dire straits of running the same Lucy Lawless route where she's never going to be cast in anything overly dramatic. She's always going to be the kick-ass chick.
I don't particularly enjoy overly dramatic.
You didn't like Dangerous Liaisons?
I did 30 years ago.
Right. But that's kind of what we need to get back to, is like, there's no reason that movie should be any good. But it is. If I'm not mistaken, Keanu Reeves was in that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we need, like, playing against typecasting. Like, and those actors can't do it.
Gene Hackman in The Birdcage.
There you go.
Excuse me. Dick Tracy. What the fuck? Warren Beatty. Yeah.
I need to rewatch that movie. I haven't seen it since it was new.
Dude. You forget how many stars are in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And half the time you can't even forget because you have to listen to hear the stars because they're so freaking covered in makeup.
Maynard, if you think Lucy Lawless is a more talented actress than Gina Carano, you've got that exactly backwards. Name anything Lucy Lawless has been in where she hasn't played the kick-ass chick.
Well, Lucy could sing.
There's that. I mean, yeah. Apparently they still have, triple threats coming out of Australia: song, dance, and acting.
Oh, Gina can dance. Put her in a ring. Let's see her dance. But no, she did a lot better when she was. She's done some terrible acting. I think she was in Fast and Furious 5 or something like that. Not the greatest actress. Haywire, they had to dub her lines. But she's getting better leaps and bounds.
Bring it, Steven. Bring it.
Fight him.
Let's go. She's not a great actress. She's just not. I enjoy watching her stuff. Don't get me wrong. But
I like Lucy Law. She was terrible in Burn Notice, playing an assassin. Just one episode.
I will agree that Gina line reads often don't sound convincing. I agree.
She did decent in Deadpool.
She did. Not a real taxing role, but yeah.
Let's see you, superhero land, motherfucker.
I would, but it would blow out a knee.
Steven's come to fight. Turn your camera off. Let them fight.
Okay. When y'all mentioned Spartacus and saying that Lucy Lawless was a badass on that show, she wasn't a fighter. She was the wife of one of the ruling class, but she doesn't do hand-to-hand combat. And as a matter of fact, somebody asked her in an interview if she's going to do any of that, and she said, "Those days are behind me, and I'm happy for it." She hated she didn't like doing fight choreography on Xena because that's something that dancers do, and she said she's uncoordinated. And I'm trying to think of stuff she's done. I know I'm fairly familiar with Lucy's filmography. I didn't watch Battlestar Galactica, but to my understanding, there's no hand-to-hand. She was a scientist on that show. She wasn't a fighter. Besides Xena, the only other thing she did where she was the fighter was she was on 2 episodes of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is, low budget MCU. Would you consider her role in Eurotrip a badass, being the dominatrix queen, Madame van der Sex?
Yes, Steven.
Or what about
Schiffen de Pfiffen of Nurkenfergen. Bring in the sugar.
Or what about playing Guy Pearce's assistant in Bedtime Stories?
I'll have to rewatch that one. I might give you that one. I might, but I'm going to have to rewatch it. Yeah, I mean, I know you're a fangirl for Lucy. But and again, I would love for her to prove me wrong. But I think
Did
that
you watch
whole
every
list of
single
actors in those types of roles, Dean Cain, Kevin Sorbo, Lucy Lawless, they're B-grade actors. They can't really get to where they need to portray people that they aren't typecast into.
Dean Cain was in.
Sean, did you watch every single episode of Xena?
I can't say for certain, but probably.
Well, are you aware that Lucy was one of when Hercules and Xena were being filmed, because it was on that small island in New Zealand where everything was shot, and they reused a lot of the local actors. They recycled a lot of them. Lucy was one of the recycled actors before she got the gig of Xena. Carl Urban was a recycled actor. Many people on that show were recycled, but because I don't know if you're aware, Carl Urban played 3 characters on both Hercules and Xena.
Wasn't he Ares?
Huh?
Wasn't he Ares?
No, Kevin Smith was Ares. No, Carl Urban
different Kevin
played,
Smith.
It must
Yes,
be.
it is a different Kevin Smith. This is Kiwi Kevin Smith. He was a Kiwi, but no, Carl Urban played a
Like, what are we, food fighting Aries? You fat bastard.
Now, see, Carl Urban might be that gap jumper. There's a lot of stock actors in Hollywood, and especially in the '70s, this used to be a thing. You would see them in everything. They may not be main roles, but they would be playing bit parts in everything, and then they can ascend. And Carl Urban has managed to kind of crack that a little bit and not just be the B grade actor. He's like a B plus A minus actor at this point. Like, he's not quite A-list, keep that in mind, but he's almost there. I don't think Kevin Sorbo, Dean Cain, and Lucy Lawless, and there's probably others that I'm just blanking on the names of, that are kind of in that same spot where they're like a B plus actor, but they're not making it to A minus.
I will agree with you that the three actors that you've mentioned multiple times already, they're too old and they're never going to rise to that level of where a shitload of people like them and want to pay money to see them, the A-list, whatever you want to call it. My only argument is that Lucy is typecast as a badass, and another thing I was trying to point out earlier is whenever I asked you if you had seen every episode of Xena, not only was she a recycled actress, but whenever she was on Xena, she played multiple people. There was an episode where her and Hudson like switched bodies, and it was like a Freaky Friday. And there was another episode where, well, there were several episodes where Lucy.
Do you mean Hercules?
Yes, he means Hercules.
You mean Hercules, right? You keep saying Xena, but you mean Hercules, right?
No, there is an episode of Xena where her and the actress who played Callisto, Hudson, like switch bodies. Like Ares switches their bodies.
Right, but you're saying that she was a recycled actress from Hercules.
She was a recycled actress from Hercules, but even after she got Xena, she went back to Hercules to play one of those parts. She was a centaur's wife named Lila, and that she was, as a matter of fact, the very first episode with Xena, the episode before that, she was playing Lila, the centaur's wife, who was a bitch. And whenever there's a whole thing that many Xena fans know about how hard it was to find an actress to play Xena. It was originally Vanessa Angel, but she got sick and couldn't make the flight to New Zealand.
Oh, thank God. I like Vanessa Angel, but no.
Yeah, and also the character Xena was supposed to die in the third episode, but the fans responded well to the character, which is why they rewrote her and gave her own series. And
yeah,
it was a gamble.
Yeah, but Peter Capaldi was in 2 episodes of Doctor Who before he became Doctor Who. Amelia Pond, or not Amelia Pond, Karen Gillian.
Oh, Karen
was. Yeah, played a character before she became Amy Pond. That happens in just small groups. Like, you end up having to have reoccurring characters, like in Supernatural, that played for 15 fucking seasons in little ass Canada, where like every month they were shipping out actors from America to film in Canada, when they happen to have a wonderfully robust Canadian cast. They just didn't have enough people in the proper age range to film everybody. So you end up getting reoccurring characters and characters that popped up from season 2 and season 14 and whatnot. That just happens across the board when you end up being something like a long-running show. Or you don't have the depth of bench but I mean, Supernatural, 15 fucking seasons. 3 seasons in Kiwi land is ridiculous. So yeah, it happens.
Wait, Kiwi land? Are you talking about? You're talking about Supernatural? I thought it was
No, I was talking about
Doctor Who.
No, Xena and Hercules.
Yeah.
I think Hercules went on for 7 years, and Xena went on for 6 years.
Well, I'm saying 3 seasons is too much to have that kind of breadth of bench of actors that can
Well,
play those characters.
they
Yeah.
reused a lot of the same local actors.
Mhm.
Right.
Same
They
thing
have
with
to. Yeah.
Stargate.
Yeah.
They had to do that.
But you know what I noticed about Hercules and Xena, I didn't notice until I got older, is that some of the actors weren't good at concealing, especially the child actors. They were not good at concealing their accents.
Yeah, that's
Well, when you're playing
um,
a fantasy role, that you can get away with that because people are going to have accents.
yeah.
Well, they
But
didn't. They were scared of casting Lucy as the second lieutenant Amazon woman because of her accent, and she.
yeah.
Well, if you depending on who you ask, they say she had to work really hard to convince them that she could do it. But if you ask Kevin Sorbo, she was seducing the producer.
Mm. My favorite is Sean Connery as a Russian general in The Hunt for Red October. With his fucking Scottish accent. Like, oh yeah, that's a Russian right there. Knew it.
Wasn't one of his last movies The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
I think it
The
was his last
Avengers.
movie.
Wait, was it? Wasn't the Avengers?
Pretty sure it was League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, the Avengers came out whenever I was in middle school, and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen came out whenever I was in high school.
I'm not a big Alan Moore fan, but I like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I like what League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is. It's not a good movie.
I can concur.
Say one more bad thing about Dean Cain.
I've never met him. I've had the opportunity to many times, but never met him.
Man, you guys got to understand. I want to be wrong about this. I'm just not.
You know what? I'll forgive you because of your humbleness. You fucking dickbag.
Well, it's like y'all were saying earlier that about Hollywood losing its influence, and a lot of people are noticing that if you think about the '90s and even a little bit in the 2000s, where celebrities were like gods to some extent because everybody loved them and adored them to some extent, and it was really really hard that it was very unlikely that you would ever meet any of them. And but now because of social media and we actually know what they're thinking, and because, well, first of all, because of social media, and we actually hear more about what they're thinking, and they've just become less likable, and it's hard to enjoy their work when you know that they're stupid. A lot of the times they are, and y'all know I love Lucy Lawless, but I hate how she constantly talks about climate change these days. And so, but moving on, not only are they not only are they becoming more unappealing because of social media, but they're suffering because of the internet. With streaming, if there's less profit, they've killed their industry because they want to. They hated Trump so bad that they wanted to go with this virus and push the mail-in voting that they collapsed our economy and including their own industry and and Hollywood actors, so many of them have prepared statements in interviews or anything, and you just tell them to say something and they'll say it.
Yeah.
And they're doing that with this coronavirus bullshit, even though it's killed the movie industry, it's killed the theater business. And so not only are they have they taken a huge hit because of that, there's less profit in streaming, but because of these comic book conventions or whatnot, these actors are having to do more and more promo material and hope that you'll actually buy the product. And that's been happening for that it's been on the comic cons, and these major actors attending comic cons has been on the rise for the last 10 years.
Right, but how long can that juvenile fan base? I mean, it's one of those. It's a mixed bag. The stuff they're doing is juvenile, so the fan base is juvenile, which is great because it leads to lifelong fans. But
Mhm.
how long can that truly be supportive to their overall career and getting more roles?
Hollywood is
Poor fucking
Hollywood has
William Shatner.
competition.
Hey, man, William Shatner from the '60s, after
Hmm.
Star Trek, he before Star Trek, he was a stable actor. He was in a lot of things. He would show
Hmm.
up regularly on all kinds of things. After Star Trek, he didn't show up on anything until T.J. Hooker, which was like over a decade later.
Mm-hmm.
And even then,
Maynard.
people mocked him relentlessly.
Are you saying he, because of Star Trek, he became a douche or a demand or a diva?
No, all right. So
Never either
Carlton,
of those things.
yeah, Carlton from oddly enough, and this works. Alfonso Ribeira, who played Carlton in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, is quoted by Will Smith, and he often quotes himself by saying this. He said, "Will, this show is going to blow up so big that for the rest of your life, they will call you by the name of your character. So name your character Will Smith." Which is ironic because I just referred to him as fucking Carlton.
Right, but you know what's funny is that Carlton, I remember from Silver Spoons when he played Ricky Schroeder's best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And the Pepsi commercials.
Yeah, I actually had a hard time getting into Doctor Who because David Tennant was the shitbag in the fourth Harry Potter movie, and
He was a good
Eccleston.
villain on Jessica Jones.
Yeah, Eccleston was a villain in The Keeper or The Seeker or some movie or another. So I had a hard time getting behind those. It took me a while. I had to force myself to get behind those, and that sometimes happens. John Schneider, who played one of the Duke boys 35 years ago, is still doing Duke-related materials because that's what everybody loves him for. And you see Kevin Sorbo is currently repping the Hercules sword in PragerU videos. 25 years later, it just so happened. It's hard, and it's why Will Smith never did TV acting after Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's hard.
I think it was Tia Carrera who said, 'cause she used to star on her own TV show and being the star of a TV show with they probably had like 20 something episodes per season. And when you're the leading character, there's so many hours you have to put in and it's very exhausting. And I think the Hollywood realized that, or the production team realized that, which is why they started doing more ensemble cast on TV shows later, like Grey's Anatomy, Desperate Housewives, Modern Family. The screen time is split between the actors so that one or two people aren't stressed.
Yeah, I love James Woods, but it was hard to get behind him in Shark. And Shark starred James Wood and Danielle Panabaker. I liked both those people. Tim Roth in Lie to Me. I wanted to like Lie to Me. I enjoy facial coding, which is what he was supposed to be like the godfather of. And it was hard to get behind Tim Roth in that, or even as a bad guy in The Incredible Hulk or whatever Hulk movie he was a part of. But Maynard just said that even Bond movies recast many people. Actors who was in Blofeld in Diamonds Are Forever was Bond's friend in You Only Live Twice. The guy who played Bronson's Bond, the CIA contact who played Felix Leiter, was a replacement villain in the Living Daylights movie. So yeah.
I'm not a good person to talk to about the Bond films. I only remember The World Is Not Enough.
Mm-hmm. Well, oddly, I remember Felix Leiter. He was the bad guy in Shaft with Samuel L. Jackson.
Mm.
But one of the few characters who really gets away with it is Samuel L. Jackson. He's played some rather iconic people, and he doesn't get conflated. It's more the enamorment of it. People are to his speech. I love Deep Blue Sea, when he starts building up the camaraderie with people and he starts going on with this speech that builds and builds, and then he gets fucking taken out by a shark in it. I was so fucking happy. I was ridiculously happy that happened.
That was very ironic, and I
Because it was
remember,
about to be his hero speech.
I remember whenever I saw that in theaters, a lady behind me actually screamed when that happened.
Yeah. That speech was going to be so good that at the end of it, they were going to go out and fist fight the sharks to death.
Instead, he ends up getting split in half and twitching.
Oh, yeah, that was so good.
Man, I watched the second Deep Blue Sea. It's obviously low budget, and it might be up your alley, Jay Fry, but I can't even. That second one made me not even want to watch the third one.
My favorite Felix is from the Brosnan series. he's such a jackass. He really enjoyed himself though. Like Felix Leiter of the Bond trilogy was like the most fun Felix Leiter out of any of them.
Dirk Benedict played Starbuck, the good Starbuck, and Face from the A-Team. He was one of the few that actually managed to play different roles. Who was the guy who came in, and why can't I think of his name? The guy who replaced Steve on Married with Children.
That was Ted McGinley.
Yeah,
Ted
McGinley went around, and he's literally cancer for anything except for Married with Children. Anything that he got involved in, he was known for killing shows, like before getting involved with Married with Children. Like everything he'd ever been on, he was always like a second late comer cast member, and then the show would die shortly after he joined the show.
Yeah. But
I can think of one actress who they've tried to give her several projects and nothing ever panned out.
I was actually worried about Anton Yelchin because I loved him so much in Odd Thomas. I'm like,
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, if you haven't seen Odd Thomas, you should. It's a quality movie. It's a Dean Koontz novel turned into a film by Stephen Sommers, who I fucking adore.
Is it a horror?
Horror adjacent.
Okay.
I think it's just more creepy.
It's
dark.
It's a fun creepy though.
Yeah, it's just kind of dark.
Yeah, it's oddball more than anything.
Yeah.
The only other Anton Yelchin movies I can think of besides Terminator Salvation, the one movie I liked with him in it was Alpha Dog.
Well, he was in what was his name in Star Trek?
I saw it, barely remember it.
Chekhov. I was worried I wouldn't be able to watch Star Trek again without thinking about Thomas. Tom Selleck's a good one. It took him shaving his mustache and playing fucking Monica's boyfriend for him to be cast in Blue Bloods, where he got to grow his mustache back.
Yeah. Yeah, and how long did that take? A decade and a half?
Fucking yeah. God, that's such an iconic. Like everything about him was iconic, though. I love me some Tom Selleck.
Dude, what a gig!
Like you could be yourself, but I suggest you be Tom Selleck.
Did y'all talk about Matt and Blonde's movie list that they finally revealed this Sunday?
I didn't see a reveal of it, but yeah, Richard Dean Anderson took 20 fucking years to get Stargate. And people still were like, MacGyver.
I prefer him as MacGyver, honestly. I didn't think Stargate SG-1 was any good.
I'm going to need an alibi for when I fucking murder you.
But then there's Corin Nemec, who I love. Not a great actor, but I love the guy. I want to see him succeed. And he just ends up not.
He was in Stargate SG-1, dick.
I know he was. That's why I brought him up.
You can't stop shitting on him.
Dude, I'm not
have to be a
shitting on
dick
the guy. I
to
love it.
Parker Lewis and Superman. No. I saw him in, I think it was Lake Placid 4, and I'm like, I fucking know this guy. It took me
Was
way too
Yancey
long.
Butler in that one?
Dude, there's like 5 now.
Yeah, Yancey's in 2 of them. I know
I
she's
think
in the
she was in
third
like
one.
2 and 3 or 3 and 4. I don't remember which ones.
3 and 4.
But I don't like. I didn't really watch that '70s show, so I'm not like hung up on Ashton Kutcher or anything like that. But I can't think of anything in like the last 10 years that would make me call somebody by that name, like either accidentally or on purpose.
Yet the actor who plays Fez is just going to be Fez forever.
No, because I
He's on that
watched him
From
on.
Dusk Till Dawn. He's on that From Dusk Till Dawn TV show, and he doesn't do a bad job.
Yeah, I watched him on. He's new to NCIS, like I don't know, like 3 years ago or whatever. And I'm like, I don't see it. like he's not particularly smooth or anything. I'm like, how did you date Mandy Moore?
Is she even still relevant? I haven't seen her on anything since a guest spot on Grey's Anatomy.
Selling toys for some asshole reason. Is saying, remember when Superman had a green screen his mustache for Justice League? No, I don't. I swear to God, that was just dirt face. Like they're pausing and they're like, this is where it was done. I'm like, I can't tell.
They spent the whole story is that you weren't gonna notice because they had to tell you that it was a thing. So now people are looking for it. It does a couple of things. Number one, it made them spend a hell of a lot of money on the CGI to make sure that you don't notice it. Number two, it's promotion material.
I figured it had to be in the scene with him and Lois by themselves, away from everybody else, because the camera was a little further back and it was kind of silhouetted. And I'm like, that's probably why they did it. This seems like filler material.
Yeah, the actor who played Red Foreman did a ton of work in various things.
Yeah. RoboCop villain is amongst the top of them.
Yeah, he was renowned for it because he did a great job in that movie, but he was in literally everything in the late 70s and early 80s.
But I would like to point out, you just called him Red Foreman.
Right, because that's an iconic role that he got later, and everybody knows who the actor I'm referring to because I don't know his name off the top of my head.
Kurtwood Smith.
Kurtwood Smith. So before the 70s, that 70s show was a thing, he was the bad guy from RoboCop. We didn't even know his character's name. I think it was in the movie. I don't remember what it was, but anytime I referred to that actor, I would refer to the bad guy from RoboCop, and everybody knew who I was talking about.
Well, his name was Clarence. You clearly are not from Detroit.
I am not. And yeah, one of the hottest Bond girls was Donna's mom in that 70s show.
Tanya Roberts will always be the slave girl in Beastmaster.
That too.
She was actually like a line of royals, but she's like, I am a slave girl. You can't know. I can't do how she has. If ever I needed a bimbo for a voiceover, Tanya Roberts is my go-to girl.
Do we never know if she recovered from whatever was ailing her when they declared her dead and she was just in the hospital? Like, has anybody followed up on that? Is she doing okay?
Farrah Fawcett, you mean?
No, I'm talking about Tanya Roberts. Like middle of last year, they declared Tanya Roberts had died, and it turns out that the internet ran with a rumor, and it wasn't right. She was just really sick and in the hospital. But I don't think anybody followed up to figure out, well, what did you have, and are you okay, and any of that stuff.
You sure that's not Julie Strain?
Positive. It's Tanya Roberts.
Oh, no, you know what I'm thinking? January of last year, Julie Strain was pronounced dead. And she's like, I'm not dead. But she had a stroke. And then she died January 10th. Tanya Roberts died January 4th, I think, of this year. But I do not recall her being sick the year before.
Did y'all know the wrestler Chyna's dead?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't, and it pisses me off that a lot of people confuse her with Xena.
I saw her. I I had Avengers on my I ripped it from the internet and I
The Emma
started
Peel, John Steed version,
no
the MCU.
the no I thought I did but no I ripped Avengers from the internet. Never watched it.
Oh shit,
Uh,
she did die.
who?
Tanya
Tanya
Roberts.
Roberts.
Yeah, Tanya Roberts died January 4th this year, like 6 days before
Julie
Julie Strain died.
Strain.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
because it
did
was
I?
reported last year that she got hospitalized. I didn't realize she had actually died. That's
Are you
sad.
sure
Now
you're
I
not thinking of Farrah Fawcett?
I'm sure I'm not thinking of Farrah Fawcett.
Because she had that, and so did Julie Strain. And all right, I missed that one then.
Farrah Fawcett died the same day Michael Jackson did, like, over 10
Yeah,
years ago.
yeah. So now you're as sad as I am about Sean Connery when I realized he died on Halloween last year.
I didn't know it was on Halloween, but I was aware of his passing. I remember
Yeah,
telling Matt.
I am exceptionally bad with dates, so I've been making an effort for like the last 2 years to like really drill down on dates.
One death that I don't remember a lot of people talking about in the year of COVID was Joel Schumacher.
Oh yeah, that hurt me. I was just talking about reindeer games. Oh, so I had Avengers on my computer, and I'm like, I'm gonna clean this up. So I turn it on to see like how good a quality it is, and I fast forward to the middle of the movie, and there's She-Hulk getting banged, and I'm like, oh, this is a porno. This is not actually the Avengers. And then I'm like, all right, She-Hulk looks familiar. I'm like, oh shit, it's fucking China.
Who was she getting banged by? The only
Fuck if I know.
Sabretooth? Oh, her and Sabretooth had a one
No.
night. They had a one night stand in the comics, so that's why I asked.
I think it was the Green Arrow or some shit. I don't know. With him, wrong group maybe. I don't know. No, I don't even know why. But Sean Connery passed away October 31st, 2020.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ugh, this is terrible.
But yeah, Sean. I really enjoyed Julie Strain. Tanya Roberts was my first ever boobies. Thank you, Sheena.
I saw a documentary about Scream Queens with Julie Strain, and
there is some Avengers type porno where Joni Lauber played She-Hulk. I don't know what the actual title is, but she was She-Hulk, and she's getting dicked. That's all I can say about it. I turned it off. I did not delete it. So if you need any other questions answered, I can maybe watch the entire hour and a half if you want. For because I'm your friend, I will do that for you. If you have any questions,
because I like She-Hulk. So yes, do that.
you don't even have a question. What do you want, the name?
Nope, don't care. Just enjoy it because I appreciate She-Hulk.
Yeah. Is there any news on She-Hulk?
It's going to be a series late this year, I think, or early next.
it's sometime next year it's going to premiere. They haven't even, I think they just announced the casting, but they haven't even started filming it yet.
I mean, I think the only thing that we're getting this year for Marvel is Loki in June, Black Widow movie in June as well, I think.
I think we're at the end of the year we're supposed to get the Eternals and Shang-Chi.
Yeah, and it's all supposed to set up. They're really banking on the next Doctor Strange movie sometime, early next year. That's going to be the big draw.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's Shang-Chi?
Basically, he's
Nope.
Iron Fist, but not a white token billionaire playboy piece of shit.
So
Iron Fist wasn't a
Iron
piece of shit,
Fist's
but he
sidekick.
was white.
Which one's Iron Fist again?
He's the
No, I
white
mean which
guy.
which
That
which company? Which company?
Marvel.
Marvel. So is he DC's version or is he Marvel's version?
He's Marvel's
No,
version. They're basically.
Shang-Chi is also
Go ahead.
Shang-Chi is also in the Marvel verse, and he's like another master of the martial arts. But I've asked some Marvel fans where Shang-Chi fits in and all of this, and they said they don't know. He's like a random character that they just decided to pull out of their ass that nobody's heard of.
They
I
had to
don't.
recover
Yeah.
from Iron Fist because of the cultural appropriation. Because Iron Fist is basically the white version of fucking Bruce Leroy.
Well, yeah, but that's gone back. The Shadow is from the 1930s, and Phantom.
Back that up a decade or two.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, didn't it come because of radio?
No, it got popular because of radio, but it was popular before that in the pulps.
Oh, I
He
didn't
was
know it
like
went
the
back so far.
first honest to God superhero type character ever created.
I have a radio play downloaded on my YouTube to listen to probably by this weekend, coming up this weekend, and it's like 6 episodes put together. It's like 13 hours. But yeah, the Phantom is another one. He takes care of Africa, and the Shadow comes from Genghis Khan area somewhere over there.
Well, no, the character of the Shadow was always a rich playboy, which is where that trope originated. He just learned mystical hypnosis from somebody.
Illusion or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Same thing with the Phantom.
Yeah, the Phantom is a direct Shadow knockoff. Like unabashed Shadow knockoff.
I'm gonna fight you. There is nothing similar between Alec Baldwin and Alec Baldwin. Yeah. Oh wait, what's that? Who was that?
Isn't the other one Billy Zane?
Yes, I fucking love Billy Zane in that movie. But yeah, it's the same blue-eyed, dark-haired fucking bastard who's rich as shit.
Maynard mentioned Moon Knight. Yeah, I guess Marvel's going to do Moon Knight. But if you know anything about Moon Knight, it's literally Marvel's version of Batman.
They're also supposed to have the Kamala Khan Miss Marvel, and I have no interest in that at all. But the new Marvel video game sucks because out of all the characters to draw from and make playable, they pick her.
Can we talk about like how almost all these characters are cultural appropriation and created by Jews? Every fucking single one of them.
Maybe the recent adaptations or versions. I'm not sure about the source material.
Superman, 2 Jews. Spider-Man, Stan Lee. Iron Man, Hulk. Yeah, Kirby and Stan Lee, both Jews. That's all Jews. It's turtles all the way down, except with Jews.
I'll take your word for it. I'll just take your word for it. You're my Jew Google.
Fucking wish. I'd have known who Michael Rosenbaum was on site.
He has a podcast, and I subscribe to it. And I remember him asking Laura Vandervoort, who is gorgeous every time I see her, and he asked her about the Nexium cult, and if Allison asked her to join.
Is he butthurt that he wasn't asked to join?
He said that people have asked him and Tom about the news about her being in this sex cult, and that's like the only thing they ask. And they stayed quiet for a while, but the only time Michael talked about it, he said he didn't know her. They worked together, and whenever they saw each other on the set, they were always very cordial. But outside of work, Tom and Michael hung out, but they didn't hang out with Allison outside, so whatever she did on her own time, it's a different thing.
That was pre Me Too, so that's smart. Here's the thing. Batman sucks. The character Batman is like the master of 23 martial arts, is like a better deductive reasoning than Sherlock Holmes, has like 15 PhDs in universities that are accredited to various identities that he holds. He's 5,000% an unrealistic fucking person.
I have no argument. The only reason I enjoy Batman is his rogues gallery.
The best rogues gallery is Flash. Thank you very much.
I don't know who any of the bad guys are on. I know very little
They're
about
like
the Flash.
the stupidest fucking. At one point, there's an entire squad of gorillas that the Flash fights. There's a whole gang of snake people that attempt to turn people into snakes that Flash fights. Captain Cold, Captain Boomerang, fucking Captain Shark, I think is another one. They're all
Have these been
captains.
adapted into the TV show?
I have no idea. I don't watch it. But the movies of Flash, Michael Rosenbaum's usually the voice, and I think he does a great job.
Are you talking about the animated movies?
Yeah.
Oh, they were supposed to, years ago, they were supposed to make a Justice League movie, and Scott Porter wanted to play the Flash because the Flash was his favorite character, but he lost it to Adam Brody, but he eventually got cast as Superman. But then the project fell through, which is why it never got released.
Mm.
Yeah, that was when Scott Porter was still filming Friday Night Lights, a show nobody seems to have watched.
Batman and Spider-Man have the best rogues galleries?
Batman has the only rogues galleries that I know of that I have the most knowledge of besides Batman and Spider-Man is X-Men.
I mean, I'll agree if you're doing 60s Batman.
I'm just talking about 90s. I'm just referring to the 90s animated series.
Like, what the hell did Liberace play? Who was that?
Fuck if I know.
Do you remember, Sean? Sean, are you nodding, Sean? No, but King Tut, there was the Executioner, I think was one of them.
Yeah, sorry, it wasn't at the PC.
Oh.
Liberace.
He asked you about Liberace.
Yeah, just played himself.
No, he wasn't a bad guy.
Well, I think he was, but let's face it, there was no acting involved. It was just.
Oh yeah, Liberace played Liberace, but he was a villain.
Yeah, they gave him a character name, but yeah, he wasn't anybody. He was. I mean, he was literally just done for the TV show. It's not like.
It was like the Bespectacled Kid or some shit.
Yeah, something like
that.
Yeah. But yeah, King Tut was also one of those that was only for the '60s TV show. But they were good.
Yeah, the Executioner. Like Old School Penguin, Riddler. I read somewhere that Casey Kasem played Shaggy up until like the late 80s, and there was another Shaggy. And then Casey Kasem came back in the late 90s, but only agreed to come back if Shaggy was made a vegan or a vegetarian.
Oh,
I didn't watch it. You know, I watched it as a kid, but I can't imagine him not eating the Dagwood sandwiches that were just chocked full of everything. Like,
have y'all seen that meme about vegetarian? Or I'm a vegetarian is code for bad hunter.
Yeah. Yeah, Cesar Romero with the mustache. Yeah.
Adam West is very iconic, and I can respect that, but I've never seen any of those. I've never watched one episode of the original Batman.
How dare you, sir?
Like I said, most of my Batman knowledge comes from the animated series and the recent Arkham video game series with the same Kevin Conroy.
Excuse me, hiccups.
And I love the Rogues Gallery. Like you mentioned, the Riddler and the Penguin, but some of my favorite villains were, of course, Poison Ivy and Catwoman, but also the Killer Croc and Clayface.
Yeah, I'm not too
Two-Face was
familiar. I'm
I
not too familiar
I
with
like.
Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery, anyway.
Oh, he has a good one. There's Morbius, Craven. I don't remember Black Cat in the animated series, but I started rewatching it and then I lost it.
I'll be
And
right back.
hopefully, all right. And are you still here, Sean? Sean? Live chat. Let me answer. Does live chat have any questions? Well, it's just me here. Maynard, you love the Batmobile. Cool.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't there at the time. I was doing something else. So, but I'm back.
Yes. And
I
Jay
don't.
probably had to go.
Oh, okay. I like Batman's Rogues Gallery better than pretty much any other heroes, simply because the Joker is one of the best characters ever created.
No argument. I see his appeal.
And then the Riddler is an interesting spin-off of that. Penguin is also an interesting bad guy. The problem with Batman is he has a whole bunch of really dumb ones, but then there's he's got like the three best bad guys. He's got the Joker, he's got the Penguin, and
Harvey Dent.
yeah, probably Two-Face, who isn't necessarily a bad guy, but ends up being a bad guy a lot of the time.
Or Victor Freeze is the same way. Well, I heard in the comic books he had different motives, but the one movie is what not the Batman and Robin movie, but there was
I was gonna
I
say
think
it's depending on how Mr. Freeze is written, he's a very good bad guy. He was not.
it was Batman Sub-Zero is what retconned him into being he's not a bad guy. He just wants to save his wife.
Right, and he was on the animated series. He was one of the best bad guys, but like the Schwarzenegger version of him sucks. The one on the campy '60s show was terrible.
I don't remember.
Maynard was Stiltman on the animated series, because if that's the case, then I might have heard of him.
Oh,
but,
the one I'm thinking of that they never really brought into fruition that could be one of the best bad guys ever is Scarecrow.
Oh, he's good. I like.
They did in Batman Begins.
Jinx.
No, I didn't like that. I didn't like that version. Scarecrow was actually a fun character in Batman Arkham Asylum, the video game. That was a fun character to face.
Mm-hmm. I actually have a signed the Batmobile signed by Adam West, written out to me in August of 1980.
Wow, I wonder what his guarantee was back then.
I was born in September of 1980.
So how'd you end up with that?
Gift from parents or something?
Yeah, my mom my dad went to a car show. My mom went along with him to the car show, 8 months pregnant, and Adam West was there. My mom loved Adam West, and she said, "Make out to my son," and he goes, "What's his name?" And like, she goes, "Jason." So she signs it out, and that's how I was named Jason. Because my mom thought Pamela Voorhees' son Jason would never be made into 10 fucking movies.
Yeah, they're gonna Hollywood's gonna capitalize on whatever they can.
Yeah. He's like, it's a nice strong name. And the story of Jason and the Golden Fleece. But my brother got it worse. His name is Justin. Just in time for Christmas, because he was born on Christmas Day. But my mom was drugged out of her mind because she went through her first birth without drugs, and she wasn't going to do that bullshit again.
Good for her.
So, yeah. So she wrote Justin, and she wrote it Justen. So for all the just in time for Christmas stuff she'd been talking about, she spelled his name wrong.
Did the doctor bring your brother to her in a stocking when he was a babe, when he was just born?
No, he had a Santa hat though.
Oh,
Not like really a Santa hat, but it was a beanie kind of thing.
I'm a Christmas Eve baby, and according to my mom, the doctor brought me to her in a stocking.
No, he just had the head warmer was white and red with a white tassel on it. Who's Stiltman?
According to Maynard, he was joking that was a terrible character from the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery, and I was asking if he was on the animated series because I have never heard of him. And Maynard also mentions Harley Quinn, and Jay Fry has had bad things to say about her in the past, which I might be inclined to agree with.
Well, she was an interesting character for the animated series, but beyond that, they've done the character some injustice.
She's
more. See what I did there with the injustice.
Injustice.
See what
Yeah,
I did?
fuck you. Finally, you're making it up to me. Comments about Dean Cain.
She's nothing without the Joker. The only reason people are scared of her is because they don't have the Joker. But you take the Joker out of her storyline, she's weak, and the video games, it's in her character's inconsistent. She can kick all the guys' ass, and people are scared of, or she can take them down in hand-to-hand combat. But Batman just throws her to the side like a rag doll.
Yeah, because he's the master of 23 martial arts. Have you seen Birds of Prey?
I saw it in theaters with some of Matt's friends who love Batman.
Sean?
I have not.
Okay.
No.
She actually does I thought you were going to bed.
Well, you'll get to hear the chainsaw tonight, I guess.
Okay.
You were my chainsaw.
Yes. I'll just go with yes somewhere along the line. She actually does a pretty good job. She either has a weapon, she's using her legs, or she's using her body weight against the people. So it's a pretty good fighting style that she's adapted, that was made for her basically by whoever the fight choreographer is. It's not bad, but fuck, that movie's awful.
She
Maynard
goes into
asks,
a police station with confetti and takes them down as stupid.
well, no, she. All right, so what that is it's beanbag rounds with confetti inside.
Still, it wasn't. It was stupid.
That's a big fucking. All right, like a shotgun shell with beanbag will put people down relatively successfully. A 40 caliber grenade launcher with hacky sacks inside it is going to do some damage. She was lucky if she would have killed them if they were wearing their vests, basically. But Sean Liberative asks how you feel about the 55 Lincoln Futura that was the Adam West Batmobile. Is it cool or silly looking? I thought it was cool.
It depends. Are you under driving age? It's the coolest thing ever. If you're driving age, you look at it and go, yeah, that sucks. And then when you get to see the 1989 Batmobile, you're like, yeah, screw that thing. Now, that being said, I've had the opportunity to sit in the original, and it's cool. But it's cool from a nostalgia. I remember when I was a kid, and this was the coolest thing ever, sort of thing. It's not that it's cool in its own right. Like I'd much rather you say, okay, we're going to give you a Batmobile. Which one do you want? I'm probably going to go with the '89 one, even over the Tumbler. I'd go with the '89 one.
The '89 one is badass. Way more badass than the '97 or the Val Kilmer one.
I'm gonna put the Batboat. No, I think here's my problem. I've been in physical altercations before. I've won them relatively easily, and still ached. Like dominating the entire fight, and still utterly had my ass dragging. I don't want to have to fucking Bo and Luke Duke into a goddamn vehicle after a fight, let alone a night of patrolling my fucking city of ass bags.
Were you shaking afterwards from the adrenaline?
Oh no, I'm talking fixed martial arts fights inside regulated distances.
You're
Wrestling.
not talking about a street fight where anything goes and emotions are high.
No, I'm talking about either mixed martial arts or full contact karate or full contact Muay Thai or submission wrestling or Greco-Roman wrestling or any of the other number of martial arts that I trained in.
Controlled environments are different than an anything goes street fight.
Mm-hmm. But also, most street fights I've been in have ended before the adrenaline kicked in. So I've been able to fully end a fight and be walking away to calm down before I ever get hit with the adrenaline. But once it does, it's a bitch.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I wasn't in street fights. I was in schoolyard fights, but that was the last one I was in middle school. Wait, there was one in high school, but it didn't last long, and there was no winner.
I got beat up by a girl in 5th grade, so that doesn't count because I should have won. But in 6th grade, this kid with like 2 weeks of judo kept doing the only judo move he knew, which is a hip throw, and landing me on my ass until I kicked him in the face.
I got beat up by a girl in 7th grade, but I also had a crush on her.
Yeah. Well, they were bigger than us in 5th grade. There's no excuse for 7th grade, Stephen.
She was taller than me. She was 5'9.5", and I was still 5'7". And we were at the skating rink, and I'm not an experienced skater. She tripped me.
This girl ended up being 6'1" at the end of her growth.
Nice.
Yeah, Christina Hudson, look at you, bitch. You're a star of our volleyball team. But I ended up dating her in high school for a little bit. And I didn't even have to beat her up to do it.
Nice.
Yeah, but it was so fucking stupid. She was on the volleyball team and broke up with me because I was on the wrestling team and not the basketball team. That's the beauty of high school for you.
That's the thing, Maynard. We're not black. We used our fists, not knives or guns, I guess. Although I have heard of white people in knife fights. I actually saw a knife fight outside an AMC involving blacks, and the one guy got his lip split open.
I was like 20 years old before my knife wasn't a $110 folder.
Like, so you've carried knives. We have pocket knives here, but they got all that other shit on it. They're like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, well, mine was a skinning and whittling knife. And at no point could I pull that knife out and open it in under 7 goddamn seconds. It's this tiny little knife with 3 blades on, and not tiny. It's probably the blade was like 3.5 inches, but it wasn't. It's not a fighting knife. There's no lock on it whatsoever. You're supposed to be. The lock is it being engaged in a material that would keep it from closing. But I have ended up loving knives my adult life, and I just bought a new one, which is a switchblade. But the cool thing about here is listen. Are you listening?
Mm-hmm.
Switchblade. The cool one about this is the locking mechanism, the unlocking mechanism to open it is a button, but the closing mechanism is the back safety, which is the second strongest of the safeties that you can use on a knife of this sort. The first one is a liner lock, which would suck, but the second is the back ridge safety. Traditionally, the button lock safety is notoriously bad on these switchblades, but they changed it up, and this thing is fucking beautiful. But even then, this isn't like a fighting knife per se, because it carries in the bottom of your pocket, and a fighting knife has a pocket clip that you can get to it without having to shove your whole hand into your pocket, leaving an entire side of your body open for attack. But no one should ever knife fight, because no one wins a knife fight. Everybody gets cut.
Maynard just said something about it being a Latino thing, and maybe in different areas, but there was a lot of Latinos in my suburban. I don't remember ever seeing a knife fight.
Latinos are more of a stabbing, not so much of a knife fighting. But yeah, you can mouth off to a Latino and get stabbed, and that's not a knife fight. But to pull a blade, and for somebody else to pull a blade and then you to engage, is some Sharks versus Jets bullshit. Or Police Academy 2 bullshit. There is no winner in a knife fight.
Are we done here?
Joggers use illegally procured firearms. True. Oh yeah, I forgot we're still live as I'm reading comments. Yeah, I'm gonna go pick a fight with Steven in the off hours. Let's plug that in if anybody wants to be a part of that.
Pick a fight with me about what?
I don't know yet. I'll figure something out.
Somebody's hot and I say no, so let's fight it out.
You don't count. Good night, everybody. We off yet?
Not yet. Say goodnight, everybody. Garrick,
Good night,
you're still
everybody.
say goodnight. All right. No, Garrick. Good night, everybody.
Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation.